It is August 17th, 2026. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky, and it's time to get in the weeds. A marvelous Monday, a marching to All In, but nobody cares about All In because we are all out of options. This is my last week. We're all out of options, Jeremy Lambert. This is it. This is the last time you're ever going to hear from me for the next 5 days. This is all.
Thank God.
That's fair. Hey, how you doing, pal?
I'm well. Busy weekend, but is what it is. Izzy Dane, how are you? How was your trip to Ottawa?
I'm overwhelmed and I'm exhausted and I'm here, but I'm okay. We're okay. This is going to be a strange week. As Grace has called it, the final find down. There's a spot from Collision that you probably would want to clip, and that is the Leo Rush doing "It's fine, it's fine" as he was sitting in the Rascals room. That's probably the one you want from now on. That's the one.
No, I like the Orange Cassidy one because Orange Cassidy. I mean, Leo does "It's fine" always. Orange Cassidy is
me.
It's fine.
Why am I going to pull it for you? You're done after this week. I'm not doing anything for you now.
That's fair. Well, I'm not doing anything for you.
All right.
All right. Well,
that's fine.
That's going to be a problem. Someone asked, will TNA keep going with Joel gone? It'll exist. The cockroach brand will persist. I'm sure new In the Weeds host, I don't know, Matt Hardy will be perfect as a suitable replacement. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Ottawa was good. I was there for about 5 days. We left on Tuesday. We got back on Saturday. A lot of museums, a lot of parks, and obviously C4 was the highlight for my weekend, and that was a lot of fun. Shout out to the C4 team over at for Fighting Back. They had a really great turnout. No one's ever sure what's going to happen when C4 puts on a show in terms of numbers and draw, but I think they oversold the house because there was a standing room only, which was amazing to see. The card was fantastic. The wrestlers were excited and everyone was having a blast. So shout out to them. They raised nearly $140,000 for the Canadian Cancer Society this year. They had a dollar for dollar match donor for this year, which was amazing. I got to meet the spokesperson, or not the spokesperson, but the partner that they were working with from Canadian Cancer Society. Wonderful lady. We had a nice long conversation. You know what she actually did? She was in the backstage area is like a separate room, and there's another room up a flight of stairs. I go up to that second room because it's just kind of like it's where the photographer is doing his shots. So I just post up next to the photographer. Shout out to him, he's a fantastic photographer too. And we're kind of hanging out, and then this woman who's wearing a Canadian Cancer Society bright yellow t-shirt, we're just chatting. And then Joseph Sawyer, the former Joe Gacy, comes in and he's like, hey, you want to do that interview? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So we post up and we do that. And she's like got this big smile on her face. And she's like, cheering me on as if this was my first time. And she's proud mom. And this was the funniest thing ever. So afterwards we're talking and she's just like, that really meant a lot to you. And I was like, it was the culmination of a very long bit between this guy and I. Very fun for us to chop it up for a few minutes. So shout out to Joe Gacy and obviously to C4. We've got interviews with Joe and Zoe Serrano, former Zoe Stark, and Von Vertigo, which was a conversation that had a bunch of run-ins from people who have been interviewed by me in the past talking about zaniness and craziness in Canadian wrestling. So you want to check those out. They'll be on Working and on Overbooked. So yeah, I'm going to get those edited and posted up hopefully sooner than later. And yeah, Ottawa was fun. The show was great, and I'm happy to be back in my space and happy to be back with you guys for one last full week. So for those of you who missed on Friday, and why would you miss? Because this is the show you should be listening to. It's the show that actually covers all the things in wrestling, not just one company or 1.5 companies, because TNA is not a full company, let's face it by now. I guess it's 2, because if you count NXT and TNA, that technically would put up a full company. Is that safe to say?
NXT's WWE though.
I guess. I mean, so is TNA if you really think about it.
Well, it's not called WWE TNA. NXT is called WWE NXT.
Sure, Carlos Silva would love if it was, though.
Probably.
Either way, we cover everything. And if you missed Friday, again, why would you? I did pop on for a few minutes, so maybe if you're not caught up, this is my last week. I've taken on a new role. I have a new job that starts next Monday, and I'm very excited for it. But it is going to take me away from doing this show, which does make me sad, and it does make me feel a little emotional because this has been a labor of love for myself, Jeremy, and of course SB3. So to be leaving this in very capable hands is amazing, and to see what happens next is so much. It means the world to me, and the support as well has also meant the world. But yeah, this is going to be it. This is it. And also for those of you who missed it, my wife and I were also expecting our second. So there you go. That's another thing that wouldn't really take me out of the game so much, but you know, things come in threes. So there it is. I'm leaving. I have a new job, and I was expecting. Jeremy likes the first one.
No, I mean, yes, but it's gonna be a week. I'm sure we'll get reflective and everything throughout the week. And
remember what I did yesterday. Reflective?
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how actual reflective we get. Yeah, there will be changes, obviously, to the show. I think SB3 is gonna add another day. I do have a host lined up for Fridays moving forward, and I still need a host for potentially Wednesdays. So SB3 is like, I'm not doing the terrible days. Wednesdays NXT and Friday is TNA, and SB3 is like, I ain't doing those days. So fair enough.
Fridays are the best. Fridays are the news dump / we don't know what to talk about days.
Oh, it's very true. SB3 and I did Friday's show, and we reviewed the Pat McAfee album, which was like our most viewed video in months, mainly because we haven't done videos for months.
Shout out to you, by the way, for getting those going again.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, my thumbnails aren't as clean and uniformative as yours, but I'm trying.
I can send you the templates.
Trying. I mean, that's fine. Some of the stuff I do like what I've done, like the earth as the background for AJ Styles, and the football, the football field as the background for the bloodline. So some of the stuff I've enjoyed, and you know, I'll continue to get better at it as I do more. But I'm trying to just do things, trying to add. I do enough, but you know, always trying to do things around here. So, yeah, you know, but we do have somebody for Friday, and we shall see what happens for Wednesdays moving forward. You can continue to throw suggestions in the chat. I will continue to ignore them.
Someone pitched Kylie in the comments from Friday's show, and my response was, Kylie is doing more grown-up things than all of us combined.
Yeah. Shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Kylie and Haley. But I mean, they would be fantastic if they wanted, if either of them honestly wanted to do the show. But I don't know what they are up to at this point.
We should be asking Avery Styles to do this. Pay his dues the right way.
Well, I mean, his dad does a podcast,
so his son should be. I guess he is paving the way for his son's podcast.
Yeah.
60 years.
Yeah.
Damn it. Well, I guess we're foiled again by AJ Styles. I almost said flat Earth AJ.
You almost said what?
Flat Earther AJ Styles.
Oh, the Earth community.
Earth community. Well, he's got enough communities after him. I don't think he needs another one.
Yeah.
He needs someone to support him, so it's fine. It's okay. Someone saying ITW the weekend. So that was the thing I kind of alluded to on Friday. I am obviously going to step back for a little bit because the job is a Monday to Friday. My wife has been telling me, like, hey, don't completely step away because it'll drive you nuts if you only focus on what you're doing right now. So her thing was, and I agree with this, is take some time, get acclimated with what you're doing, and then maybe you'll have time for. And I said, maybe this will be the door that opens up to ITW weekends, as I would host a weekend edition of the show. With who? I don't know. Obviously, I'm not going me to do that because that would be not fun for anybody named Jeremy Lambert. So we'll figure it out. But the idea of doing a weekend show is always on the table. That's how Tim and Joel started. It was a weekend show, I think. We did a weekend show.
Yeah.
So that's who, by the way, that's who you should reach out to be the new host of In the Weeds.
I don't think Tim has any interest in talking about wrestling, does he?
The show barely talks about wrestling at the best of times.
I mean, true, but I don't think Tim has any interest in talking about wrestling. I don't want another white guy on this show.
That's fair. That is fair. I think if we can get more people of color, more women of color, let's do it. Let's absolutely diversify the pool here.
Well, Friday's show is not a white person. I will say that. And obviously Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday's show is not a white person. So
let's go.
That's where we're at.
We'll see who's out there. We'll see who Jeremy picks up. We'll see if I get a say in any of this. But
why would you?
I don't know, maybe I have an idea or two of people to pick.
Do you?
No.
Okay. I mean, if you do, like, I'm honestly more than happy to hear it. I just didn't think you did.
I'm sure with some thoughts, I could probably give you a couple of people that are top of mind, but I'd have to think about it first.
Okay.
And also, I hate everybody, so no one's you can't force Denise because she just she's too cool for us.
Yeah, Denise she's not taking a pay cut to do this show.
Very fair. I'm sure there will be names that come up and there will be names that say yes or no and just work on it from there. But that's what we're up to. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, no, we've got somebody. We just need somebody to do one day, and we'll see if comes to fruition here. I got a week, I guess, to fit. I do have somebody who's willing to be a stopgap until find a full time. So we're kind of in an okay position right now.
Shout out to John Alba for being a stopgap.
John Alba doesn't want to do this show.
Can't blame him. You should get Booker T. Tell him how much you love his work.
Could you imagine if we did Wednesdays? John Alba would be doing this show and then right into the hump. He'd be a busy person.
That's perfect. Have you asked Tony Khan yet? That is a very good question that deserves an answer.
I mean, I've asked him to be on the show, but not to co-host. Wednesdays would actually be great if he wanted to co-host. He just preview Dynamite. We'd never talk about NXT. We just preview Dynamite the entire time.
Dear, I'm taking your bit. At Tony Khan. This is funny because this might be how Twitter finds out that I'm leaving, because there are people who have no idea that this is happening. As you may know, I have taken a new job and will be leaving in the weeds effective next week. With that in mind, would you be available and interested in hosting with at Jeremy Lambert?
He's definitely not interested in doing any of this
on Wednesdays.
Yeah, put it on Wednesdays. That might help, actually.
Thanks and God bless. Because I know how this guy operates, and we're gonna get him where.
Actually,
yes. So there we go. And post. I'm very excited for the people who are gonna be like, "Wait, you're leaving the show?" Like, yeah, watch the product. Anyway, and
yeah, he could give the match card on the show instead of 6 o'clock at night, 2 hours before the show.
Yeah, we could be promoting everything that needs to happen at Dynamite. Then again, 2 o'clock is when everyone shows up and he figures out who's healthy, who's not after the week. So, do what you do. Yeah, Jeremy's gonna ask TK for the results for Dynamite to pre-write all the articles.
I don't actually cover shows anymore. Like I tapped out on. I didn't tap out. Like I just kind of let others do that stuff now. I'm still around. I'm still helpful, but I don't actually have to cover the day-to-day show stuff. I do if people tell me what's going to happen. A lot of time, Sean will tell me like, "Hey, this is supposed to happen tonight," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I will. I'll write this," because I don't. If anybody tells me there's something that's going to happen, I don't like telling other people, even if it's just members of our news team, because I don't know. I like everybody on our news team, but I don't know who the hell they're telling and stuff. And like, I feel like I've been trusted with this information, not anybody else. So, yeah, I don't. That's the only time I cover shows. Otherwise, I don't cover shows anymore outside of pay-per-views. I just get to sit back and watch them or not watch them.
Just expect TK to come around and do the things. Come on. I like this one. This is how Jimmy Van finds out Joel works for ITW and is leaving as well. The idea that you think Jimmy Van follows me and is aware of my my online presence. He knows I exist, but as an employee of the company. Yes, for those who don't know, I'm moving into the to the nonprofit world, moving back to the nonprofit world. That's what I'll be doing. So I'm looking forward to that. Joel's going to work for a nonprofit organization that helps kids recover from being hit by fridge doors. He started camp today.
Oh, nice.
First day. He was great. No problems. Hopefully it means he's going to have a great week.
Yeah, our kids start school this week and I'm dreading it. Like I already get up early, but now it's like back to the 6 a.m. get ups and I'm absolutely dreading the 6 a.m. get ups because I'm gonna do this show and I'm gonna be so tired. I've already been awake and like working for 4 hours instead of awake and working for like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, but just dreading these 6 a.m. wake ups again.
You know what's really upsetting? People talking about vacating the Fightful championship.
You don't even have it.
I don't. It's not physically in my possession. However, today is day 1979. If only I had 20 more days left on the docket. I just wanted to make it to 2000.
You don't have it though.
No, but I'm still technically the Fightful champion.
Nick Aldis stripped you of this title 1950 or 49 days ago.
Nick Aldis ain't done shit. Nick Aldis, GM, would have done it, but Nick Aldis, the man, is going to give me. 30.
You don't have as good of a story as Chelsea Green does. That's for sure.
Talking about, I have been downtrodden, mistreated, absolutely just lambasted at every single turn. And when I won that title, everyone was like, "You deserve it." And I said, "No, I earned it. I beat that person down until they submitted in Rio or something, whatever they did to give me the title." And now, 1979 days later, I deserve to be your champion. I have done it. Who am I putting over on my way out? This channel, because really everything I have done is in service of this and my other channel. Jeremy doesn't need to be put over. He's fine. He's good. He's over.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about him.
Literally.
SP3, same thing. He's fine. He's great. He gets put over all the time. He asked me to do the lockdown preview, and I said, "Are you sure about that?"
That sounds terrible.
I was like, "I'm not even."
When is that show?
Sunday.
Fuck out of here. No, it's not.
Yeah, Sunday, 23rd. I'll be at Northern Crown Wrestling down the street instead. I won't be watching Lockdown. It's it's a late, or sorry, an early evening, late afternoon show. So at least you got that. I look for little vacancies, little victories.
Nah, that sounds terrible. I mean, I'll watch it. I have to watch it, but
you don't have to do anything.
No, I mean, I kind of got to. I feel bad for SP3. His first Monday show is like, "Hey, let's review Lockdown."
He'll have a blast. It's fine.
There's an ROH show this weekend, so
Drew on Friday, right?
That's allegedly another wrestling company that exists.
What's the big Saturday show?
Nothing, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's a show that we're omitting from the calendar.
I don't think so, because I don't think there's a WWE show, because next week is the big everybody run your show on one day and piss me off. So
yeah. I don't
think
there's
Collision. Collision's on next week. There's that.
Yeah, Collision is Collision though. It's a live Collision this week?
Yeah, it's a live one.
Okay, well at least they're doing that. I mean, that's good. I don't think there's anything else that's on the docket. Yeah, okay. They're in Reading, Pennsylvania for Collision. So there's your weekend.
Well, yeah, wrestling. It's always wrestling for my weekend.
Oh, Lawrence is here. So Lawrence was at C4 Wrestling as well. Jeremy was privy to this.
Yeah.
Maybe you saw it on Lawrence's Twitter or on his Instagram. Go follow Lawrence Cartier. He was a boy for Dalton Castle. And he shouldn't have done that. He just a boy. And he did the short shorts, the shimmies and all. He wore the mask. He was out there with 3 other workers and he was putting on a show and did great work. Shout out to him. But it was quite a moment. I sent Jeremy the photo and I said, "Lawrence, boy, and you have to see this." And I took video. There's a video too.
Okay. Did you post the video?
I have not posted it. I sent it to Lawrence. I don't know if he posted it. It's from the balcony at C4. You can see everything, but hard cam is on the other side, so you're just seeing the backsides of everyone. But he was a good boy. He was a great boy.
All right.
Did Lawrence help set up the chairs? The chairs were all set up when I got there, and I got there at 4:00. So I did ask Joe Gacy if he set up the chairs today. The answer actually turned into a very interesting answer that I'm sure will get picked up by at least us about chairs discourse.
Good luck with that.
It's going to be fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to send you guys all those interviews once I sync up the audio. Or I'm going to send you the audio and be like, the video doesn't matter. Just take these.
Again, good luck with that.
Well, Skylar will do it, right?
Potentially. I don't know who does what anymore.
That's how I feel. Dalton called me the best boy. Dalton Castle lied to you. He also was like, we'll do an interview. This was at the beginning of the day. He's like, yeah, well, let's do an interview. I was like, sure, but give me, and then he spent the rest of the day avoiding me. So shout out to Dalton Castle. Because by the second blow off, I was just like, okay, I see, I'm not talking to you anymore. I get it. So that's what I got. But you know what? It's his time. I'm not going to force anyone into doing stuff. Yeah, video is a dying format. Nowadays, if you want people to listen to you got to put it on an iPod. Just like Gen Z is going back to the iPods. Did you hear about this?
No.
Yeah, apparently they're fishing out their iPods and listening to those instead of being plugged in through their phones.
All right, fair.
Yeah, as they should. That's Gen Z. That's all the university kids. They're just trying to be cool, right?
Yeah.
Trying to be hip and whippy. Bunch of dorks.
I have a poll question for today that is not going to garner any discussion from Joel because I assume he has not watched this match.
First of all, it was a 5-star match. Second of all, Jonathan Gresham's going to watch it with his dogs and have a wonderful time with it. Third of all, it was what's going to bring the feeling back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Did I watch the match? No. Am I just spouting off all the things that I saw on social media so far about it? Absolutely. Yeah. I'll get around to it.
Okay. Sure.
No, I won't.
Yes. Don't lie to the people. It's your last week. You don't have to lie to the people at this point.
Lying to the people. Should have interviewed Lawrence in full boys gear. Oh, I should have. That is a lost opportunity.
Poll question for a discussion that SP3 and I will have tomorrow.
I'm also supposed to be here tomorrow.
Are you? I don't know who's supposed to be here. Well, you can listen to SP3 and I discuss this match.
I've been told that I should be here all week for some reason.
I didn't know if that was going to happen, though.
The only day in question right now is Wednesday, and that's because I have an MRI scheduled for 4 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
So that's the only one.
4 in the morning. That sounds terrible.
They run those machines 24 hours a day. This is going back to the problems with my hip that have since, I wouldn't say healed, but like I've worked out a lot of the problem myself. But I'm still going to get the MRI to confirm the things that I've been told and need to be told again. And because I'm low priority, they just said, hey, if you're serious, you'll show up at 4 a.m. on a Wednesday at a random day for this MRI.
Why wouldn't you be able to do Wednesdays? Is it going to be a 6-hour MRI?
No, it's not. But I don't know if the MRI is actually going to happen at 4 a.m. Like, I don't know what the schedule is going to be like and how tired I'm going to be. So I will do my best to be there.
Oh, all right.
10 for Christ's sake. Those hours in between, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm saying. You'll be awake. You do the show. More preferred match. Oiwa and Umura, Swerve and Ospreay, Americano. This is not which match is better. This is not it's not which match is better. It's just which match do you prefer of these 4? There's no wrong answer here. Some people like Oiwa and Umura, some people like Swerve and Ospreay, some people like Americano. So just which match did you prefer of these 4 or these 3? I should probably learn to count. Which match did you prefer of these 3? They're all great. If you want to say they're all 5-star matches, I'm completely fine with that. I've no issue. I don't rate matches, so I don't know. I just want to. This is largely done because I know our audience pretty well. At least I like to think I do. I really, because this was such a, not such, but it was a dividing topic over the weekend. I had people in my mentions calling me idiot and things like that.
Yeah, you want those engagement dollars?
Did someone say that?
Yeah, quote tweeted you. I checked the quote tweets on.
Okay, I don't. I don't. I only saw Deanna replied to me, and so I was having a discussion with Deanna. That was it.
I like her. She's
good. Engagement dollars. Yeah, I got a whole 50 cent in the club off of that tweet. It's very funny when people tweet that stuff at me.
It was, are the Elon bucks worth it? The reply, I will say, the reply to his quote was something that I understood where he was coming from. He said, one of the big stories last year in AEW was a dude getting tortured with an ankle lock to the point that when any big time submission was put on it, he freaked out and fans were chewing that shit up. So like, I got what he was where he was coming from. He just got very defensive over AEW, which is what a lot of people tend to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I can't explain all of this stuff in a tweet, and that's why I typically try to stay out of Twitter stuff unless I'm just doing a bit or doing a joke or something. So that's why I don't tweet this stuff, because there's no discussion to actually be had on Twitter, right? Like, you're not going to change anybody's mind. People are going to go into it of their thoughts and opinions, and that's all they are, opinions. And they're, whatever you say to them, they've already made up their mind on it. So you can't actually change anything when it comes to that. Again, this is just my thought and opinion on it. I loved Oiwa and Yumura. I would like to see more of that up and down. I know it's there. Please don't go like, oh, did you see Nigel and Shibata from? Yes, dummies. Not you guys in the chat. But yes, I understand this stuff happens in WWE matches, in AEW matches. People got mad at me because I said some exceptions. It's like, oh, well, that is a blanket argument, or what they say, like an obnoxious way of saying, like, of defending that it does happen, but you just don't want to mention it. Like, no, it's an obnoxious way of saying that I know it happens. I just want to see more of it. People who listen to this show know this about me. I'm not breaking any news to anyone who's ever listened to this show and knows my opinions on wrestling. I think Jon Moxley has the best match for the most part of these main AEW shows. Everybody here can attest to that, right? Like, Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly was very much my shit last year. Jon Moxley and whoever are matches that I typically love. So I don't think it's a surprise that I think Oiwa and Yumura is very much what I look for in wrestling. I think Swerve and Ospreay was great. Did I have my issues with it? Yes. But I don't think it was a bad match or anything like that. I would just like to see more of the simplicity throughout the main style in AEW and WWE. And then in the main event, I know it happens. I do. I watch all this stuff. I'm not dumb. I just want to see more. I mean, I am dumb, but I want to see more of it across the board. And I want to see if people can like do it in that way. And maybe like if more people tried it, it would lose its impact and be like, oh, where's the high spots and stuff? And I'm willing to admit that could be a possibility as well. I just prefer the simplicity of the pro wrestling a lot of times. I don't love 300 finisher kickouts and kind of meaningless high spots that don't go anywhere and things like that. I don't love the talking during, all the lore of like, hey, let's just forget what happened here and then let's just talk to each other and then we'll start throwing strikes and stuff. I don't like any. I don't like it when it becomes too much, and I do think it becomes too much in some cases. So I loved Oiwa and Yumura. It was the simplicity of it all. I loved the semifinals as well. I thought that Oiwa and Yumura and Tsuji was great. Oh, that was a fantastic match. That match flew by, honestly. And so I thought the semifinal, and then Newman and Oiwa, that was great. So I thought the G1 semifinals and finals were both fantastic. I think everybody should go out of their way to check out both matches, or I guess all three matches, both nights. Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic wrap to the weekend for New Japan.
I will be watching it. I will. Yes, I will. I can find the time. I'll have some time. Do I have to watch Raw tonight?
Do you have to?
Yeah.
You don't have to watch any of this if you don't want. I don't care.
I don't have to. It's pretty good. Let's face it. Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of good things about the match. The polarizing stuff, I think a lot of people are either just very accustomed to a certain style of wrestling that they've not been exposed to in a very long time, or explained that it is good at its core, or they're just talking out of their ass because they want to be antagonistic on a certain platform, and that's silly.
Right? I just think this feels like a wrestling version of waffles and pancakes.
I get it.
To me, is just because I'm praising this style of match doesn't mean I want every match to look like this. I understand that if every match looked like this, it'd probably lose its impact and its value. It doesn't mean I want Will Ospreay to do this kind of stuff. I thought Will Ospreay trying to be a submission specialist sucked. I thought it was dumb, and they abandoned it quickly because I think they kind of knew that it sucked. Like, oh, let's turn Will Ospreay into a ground part. Why? Let's give him what do they call it? The death ground?
Death ground. Yeah.
He won like one match with that thing. I think I don't think it would be good. So I completely that's where I'm lost on things, is just because I say I prefer this does not mean I want it across the board and that I think this other style sucks. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say at all. All I'm trying to say is, would I like to see more of this up and down the card? Yes. I would like to see more people like try this style instead of so many people just doing Ospreay stuff. This is not a knock on Ospreay, who I think is fantastic and who does it in such a way that it obviously works for him. The problem is so many other people try to do it and they're not as good at it. And so it looks bad. And that's where I get annoyed. And it's like, no, just like do something else that's not Will Ospreay. Like, this is what happens with anybody who is dubbed like the best wrestler in the world. So many people try to do the Kenny Omega matches. It's like, no, there's only one Kenny Omega. Nobody else can do it as good as him. So knock it off and do something different. And that's what I loved about this match, is they did just something completely different. Now, were there shades of Okada, shades of Tanahashi in this match? Yes, 100%. You're always going to like take from the greats and try to replicate that stuff. But just try to find your own lane with some of this. So that's all I'm saying with this, is I want to see it more up and down the card. And I would like to see more main eventers kind of do this instead of so many main event matches just feeling the same of let's do an epic and do 3 million finisher kickouts and shocked faces and talking lore and stuff like that. Like, just try to find a different lane when it comes to this stuff.
Sounds like Oya and Uemura went and watched a bunch of 60s and 70s tapes and said, let's do a style like this, and then mix in a little bit of current day work. They told a story. Yeah, they told a basic story, and it got with the crowd, got the crowd hot.
Yeah, which is great. And again, it worked. It worked. See, I don't know if it would work fully in the US, at least not like immediately, right? Like, I'll praise this person all the time. I think MJF is great at this stuff. Do I think MJF will still sometimes try to appease to the US? Yes, but like, you're going to, right? I think MJF gets the simple stuff over. And that's one thing I love about MJF, is that he does get the simple stuff over and he doesn't stray too far from who he is as a wrestler. Sometimes he does it and to pop the crowd and to show like, hey, I can wrestle, which that's just part of his character at this point, because everyone wants to, I mean, I don't think they do it anymore, but people used to say like, oh, MJF's a great talker, but like, you can't go in the ring type of that, which is always a stupid argument. But you know, so sometimes he'll just like do stuff to get the pop and everything, which fine. Like, it works for MJF. But this is why I think MJF is one of the best wrestlers, is because he does keep it more simple than I think he actually gets credit for.
The conversation about would a US company undertake this, it would take a lot of re-education. And even with the way AEW presents their product versus WWE, for example, they're vastly different, and there are enough people who reject AEW style of presentation because it's not WWE, and then they go tribal on it, and then it just becomes just a smorgasbord of people complaining about something that they don't that they think can only be one way. So it would, like I said, take a mass re-education, revitalization, and just a way to make it important to see different variations of wrestling. And this was this is the one thing that gets in the way of wrestling, and that is the money or lack thereof, the people who are willing to put the money in to put together their product and the marketing. And it's just, when you have the right team putting together the wrestling, then yeah, you can do the things that we're talking about doing, the re-education, the revitalization. But it doesn't make sense if you don't have the team. If you're just putting on matches, if you're just doing it like that, like, you can do that on the indies and people will appreciate that. But to do it on a larger scale, that's difficult to do. And I think it's possible, but it will take a lot of time and a lot of effort. And not everyone is willing to put that much time into a return on investment. That's not going to happen anytime soon, right? So it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's not impossible.
I think WWE could actually do this style more if they did have the patience and diligence to do it. Like, Cody and Punk tried, and then they completely abandoned it all when Punk decides, let me go do this moonsault, tribute to Terry Funk, and let me do this elbow from the top rope to the table, tribute to Logan Paul. Like, CM Punk doesn't need to do that stuff. They could have just worked a slow down kind of match. And then, of course, you got finisher kickouts and Randy Orton running and lore and all this stuff. But, like, they can do it with Gunther. Does a great job with this stuff. Gunther makes everything mean something, and it's not just one finisher he'll beat you with. Might be a powerbomb, might be a rear naked choke, might be a Boston Crab. Like, he will beat you with a variety of moves, and that's one thing I like about Gunther. And I think more wrestlers in WWE could do that, but they're not going to have the patience and diligence to do it. AEW, kind of the same thing, is I think more wrestlers could do it. Like, we see it with Nigel, we see it Shibata, we see it in glimpses with like Moxley and Jay White and MJF and everything. So, like, it's there, but these guys also know of, like, hey, we can hit a finisher and do a kick out and everybody's going to chant, this is awesome. Or we can do a poison Rana off the top rope and everybody's going to chant, this is awesome. So why are we just going to work a headlock for 20 minutes and work a body part for 20 minutes when we can just do this one thing and everybody's just going to chant, this is awesome? Like, I get why they don't. So I'm not trying to hand wave it like, don't do this. No, I understand it. I do. I just want to see more people kind of commit to this is more technical style. But again, that's just always been my cup of tea. And if it's not yours, that's completely fine. I understand what works. I understand you get the crowd reactions and stuff.
You want Holdmaster Obafemi, I get you.
I don't. I definitely don't want, like, Obafemi doing this stuff. Now, do I think I think Obafemi is great because he's not going to do a lot of stuff like that. But I don't want Obafemi. I mean, Obafemi could probably work a headlock and get it over. Yeah. Honestly, like,
just do a big arm headlock. Yeah, he would do that. It's I see people like hearkening to the ROH Pure division, and
yeah.
And that's the thing. It's twofold. From the wrestling point of view, like you said, could it be done? Absolutely. Then you also have to integrate the character aspect to get people invested in the characters who are putting on the matches. And that's kind of where sometimes it falls flat amongst all companies. It's either there's too much character or there's too much wrestling and not enough character. Like, no one's found the sweet spot yet. And maybe this match from the Cup final, from the G1 final, was the start of people understanding that you can find both. It also opened up the discourse to, they sent Yumura to TNA and he did Joya and that ruined him. And it's like, I think Garrett Kidney pointed out best, because of course he did. He was like, that was 3 weeks of TV, and the rest of Yumura's time in TNA was him getting over and working different opponents and just being presented in a different light. That's what Excursion is. So for him, I think he's probably, and I'm sure SP3 can speak much better to this than I can, of the wrestlers who have gone on Excursion over the last few years that I can think of or that I have followed, I think Yuya Uemura actually had a very successful one compared to how others have done going out and trying to find themselves. So sometimes you come back and you get pushed as a big star. Sometimes you find that character when you come back to the territory and it comes around to you. So that's that was something that I also saw.
Yeah, of course, Joel brings TNA.
Yeah, you damn right.
They did mention Joe Hendry during the G1 final, which was
terrible. Why would they do that? That's not a good thing to do. Don't pay attention to that.
Funny.
Why?
Look, I think everybody should watch this match. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, okay. Like, that's also the very funny thing about Twitter is like people think that people post stuff to like be argumentative and almost of like, yeah, I guess just to be argumentative. And like, I'm not posting any of this to be argumentative. Like I can see both sides to all of this, and I don't care enough to be argumentative, especially on Twitter. You're not changing anybody's mind. You can't actually like convey your point well enough on Twitter either. There's no discussion to be had. And again, I don't care enough to be argumentative, and I actually do see the other side of things. I understand that it's an opinion, not a fact. And most people think that their facts are opinion, or their opinions are facts. And that's where you can't have a discussion of things. And I understand sometimes my opinion, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people. I don't think this is the case, but I will always go back to telling Tony Khan my favorite match and him saying, well, that's an opinion. One I've never heard shared, but that's certainly an opinion. Like, yes, it is.
And that's why this show is both the success, alternative, and failure at the same time that it is, because it's successful because we talk about everything. It's a failure because we don't do hot takes that get people all worked up on the internet because we're not, bad faith grifting. Like if this were busted open and they were for some reason talking about a New Japan Pro Wrestling main event, because God forbid they do that anymore on WWE Radio presented by SiriusXM and WWE, they would be talking about how, bro, where was all the story from this match? It was just all headlocks and it was all just these two guys just working around each other, but there was no real story here. What was the story of these two? They just didn't like each other. Like, what is this? What is it? Bubba would just sit there, feigning ignorance, and then you'd be stuck with bullshit from him. SP3 has shown up in the back end. He doesn't have his camera on, but I don't know, maybe he still wants to be on the show. Should we try it?
He has a great avatar.
He does. That's why I didn't want to draw attention to it until we brought him on, but now we should.
Okay.
All right. Should we check?
I don't know. Maybe we'll post in the private chat. I feel like he usually turns his camera on.
So do I. Maybe his camera's overheated. Don't want that.
Too many hot takes from SP3.
That's true. If you want, that is the one thing that SP3 will always bring, and that is a hot take to provide engagement, some reaction, some overreaction, the whole thing. Okay, so we can bring him in. He's not going to turn his camera on because he hates you people.
Okay.
Hopefully we don't have the echoing issue because I've been away for a week and my camera
God.
off. If it does, I'll deal with it myself. Here we go. Are we okay?
Hello.
Hello, SP3. How are you?
How you doing, people?
Good. Are we good? Are we not echoing?
No, there's no echo.
Good.
There's no echo. I didn't hear myself echo, at least. But I saw you guys were talking about the match of the year, so I decided to jump on because Joel leading a conversation about this amazing matchup into mentioning TNA made me want to jump.
Man, I was talking about excursions. Give me a break.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What other excursions do you have to compare Raw More to?
I can't remember at this point.
Okay. Okay, got you. The only one you remember is from TNA.
I'm not doing your lockdown show now.
I love you, Joel.
I talk about things off the top of my head. Not that someone's bringing up the Okada excursion, but I want to bring that up because we all know what that was.
Yeah. That's not friendly to anybody.
Yeah, that one sucked for everyone.
How are you, SP3? Did you think? You already called it the match of the year, but because you love this match and think it's the match of the year, I guess you just hate all of the wrestling now.
Apparently, we can't praise this matchup without some weirdos who use that conversation to either shit on a matchup that hasn't even happened yet, or shit on Yota Tsuji after he was one of the MVPs of the G1, which is outrageous. It's preposterous that we can't have these type of conversations, can't praise two performers who went out there and created something that's so memorable, so different from everything else out there. We have to use it as a tool to get off our agendas of the people that we already hate. Or basically all I saw was people just, oh man, there's no way Omega and Ospreay can outdo this. Even though the first Omega and Ospreay match from Tokyo Dome is definitely better than this matchup. I love this matchup, but it's definitely better.
Omega and Ospreay is going to be fantastic. It's going to be different. And that's completely fine. Like, it's going to be great in its own right. It's just going to be a different style matchup. I didn't see too much of the Tsuji stuff, but like Yumura and Tsuji, I like that better than Oiwa and Newman. I don't know, maybe I'm
the Tsuji Uemura matchup was fantastic. They went out there, they had a blinder, and just based off all their history with one another, like when you can get like the two nights basically define what this era of New Japan is going to be about. It's going to be about basically conditioning your audience to get the biggest response possible from the simplest moves, because like you said about the headlock and wrist lock, whole story of this matchup in the final, the story of the matchup in the semifinals was about the Boston Crab, was about how much they put the Boston Crab on each other during their days as young lions. And that got the biggest pop. When Tsuji puts on the Boston Crab on Uemura, that whole crowd in Ryogoku's like, oh man, this is the same way he won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. The same way he's made him submit so many times in his career, so that when Uemura puts the Boston Crab back on him, it gets an even bigger pop. So like the New Japan has taught us in the year of 2026 that you can get the crowd to respond and react in the biggest way possible to the simplest things. And like the overall G1 just did such a great job of establishing this new era, this new generation of stars. Even the guys like Oiwa and Uemura, who got most of the spotlight, most of the attention, most of the conversation, they were used to kind of elevate other guys like the Aaron Wolfs of the world, the Bolton Oleg of the world. The guys that kind of have a weakness to their game are not the complete package that Oiwa and Uemura have. They are helping out those younger guys on the roster, and it's made the roster overall even better. And thus, why the conversation outside of Oiwa and Uemura was overall about the G1, and why New Japan has had such an amazing year in 2026.
And I still expect New Japan is going to do the typical New Japan style match that people like Omega, Okada, Ospreay really highlighted before, it all went to AEW. Like, they'll still have wrestlers who are going to do that kind of stuff. Like I said, apparently not well, but I liked that Yumura and Oiwa were trying something different from that, and we're trying to potentially usher in a different style and a different era of the main event style. Now, is it gonna hold? Is it gonna work up and down the card? No, it's good to have the variety, and you will have guys who will continue to do the multiple finisher kick out stuff, and this was a hot closing stretch, but the super kind of more high flying, high spot stuff, and that's completely fine as well. I just like this style of, I would like to see more people try to implement this. It's there across all companies. I just want more of it.
I think if there's more of it, then stuff like this is not special. So
100%.
I like the fact that it's not done everywhere. I like the fact that we have evolved as a wrestling industry where this used to be the norm. Now it's the exception to the rule. So I disagree with that point. I don't want this to be done everywhere, and I don't think that it will work to this level everywhere. So I don't want it to be done everywhere else. I want it to be kind of a special occasion like this Oiwa and Uemura matchup, if more places or it was implemented more often, then this matchup would not stand out the way that it does.
Well, it's already stood out at this point. My point is I want it done just honestly by more people kind of coming up. Instead, it just feels like everybody's just trying to copy the Ospreay style. And I just don't think you can copy the Ospreay style. I wish more people, especially on the independent scene, because every independent match just feels the same at this point, unless it's a death match. But I would like to see more people just be a little bit more diligent and patient with their wrestling instead of, hey, let's go out here and do. I mean, how many independent matches do we? Even AEW, I complain about this in AEW. Like, why are we doing finisher kickouts in the opening match of this? Why are we doing this in the pre-show match? Like, can we just not beat people like normally when it comes to especially pre-show matches and opening matches and everything? I wish more people, I'm not saying everyone needs to do this. I understand different styles and you got to find your own niche and everything like that. I wish it would just be better balanced. I feel like we see so many. I hate using Ospreay as the example, but that's just kind of the style. Maybe I'll use Shawn Michaels as the example. It all started with him. That's why it's too much in NXT. I wish more people would lean towards the Bret Hart, Uemura, Oiwa, and less towards Ospreay, Shawn Michaels. Because right now it feels like the balance is like 10-1, and it'd just be cool if it was like 8-2 instead.
I get that, but I think that it is kind of 8-2 because New Japan has gone like over. I won't say over the top. I would just say they went to the right amount where it has become a defining trait of this year and the new generation post Tanahashi of this era. Because you have, Oiwa and Uemura doing that stuff. You got Tsuji doing the Boston Crab. You got Bolton Oleg doing like more traditional power moves, like power bombs and everything like that. You got Aaron Wolf, who's doing more of kind of like a judo, more traditional wrestling style that's kind of like a hybrid. So like, I think that they have made that the defining trait, but you get some of that from other places. You get the headlock takeover story of MJF and Darby Allin. You get a Shibata and Nigel McGuinness and a Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong from Collision that was very wrestling based, no high spots. We're going to tell a story based on who is the better wrestler. And to a similar effect, that was Hechicero and Brian Cage on that same show. So I think that you are getting it from these places. Even WWE, they have like someone like the Charlie Dempsey Oka Sasaki matchup from Evolve last week was. Hey, I still watch it, even though the C-suite is closed because of these two motherfuckers. But Oka and Dempsey, they had a very wrestling-based, like technical wrestling clinic. Like you're getting it from these places, you're just not getting it to this degree unless it's New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I like that. I like the fact that you have to go to New Japan to see that.
I would like to see it more in some of these US companies because it doesn't feel, I mean, people are saying, or Greater Than Horror was saying, the independent scene in the US is not as secure as the New Japan JoJo, so guys do modern stuff to stand out. Yeah, and like, again, I get it, but I don't think anybody stands out when they do this stuff. Like, I feel like you could replace Wrestler A with Wrestler B, and it's kind of the same thing on the US independent scene, where I think if you did have people that tried a different style, they actually would stand out with that. But everyone just wants to get a "this is awesome" chant or a "holy shit" chant. And if you actually just tried to work a hold and make it, and Deanna was saying this to me, is like, there are people who doing it. It's just the crowd is calling them mid and calling the matches boring. Yeah. And that's why I just don't know, like, if it actually would work on the independent.
I'm saying I think it's not going to work. It's not going to work in the US.
Yeah.
To this level, to
to be talked about as like an all-timer. Like you have people like Dave Meltzer talk about this matchup being like the greatest G1 final of all time, and I think that it is in that conversation of the ones that I've seen. He's seen way more than I have, but of the last 15 or so years of G1 Climax main event, it is that. But it wouldn't be if it would seem more often. I think that it won't work everywhere. It will work in a place like Japan because Japan appreciates that type of stuff. And they've been conditioned for years. They've been conditioned into submissions and being into submissions like a big high spot and a high impact move by Zack Sabre Jr. since 2018. Like we're going on like nearly 10 years of this crowd being conditioned to that type of like technical wrestling style. And then you get something like this that's so broad and so simplistic that it stands out like to this degree that you're now saying you want to see this more everywhere else. It can't be done. That's what I think. I just don't think it can be done in everywhere else to the degree that you probably want it to be.
Do you think that? Well, that's why I hate all of wrestling because this is not done more. Do you think that? do you think that is a genuine, serious question? That's all I ask around here. Do you think that this will actually change that a little bit, though? And let me continue by saying, New Japan has always kind of been ahead of the curve in influencing U.S. wrestling. I mean, look at Ospreay and Ricochet. Look at Omega and Okada. Everyone saw that stuff, and now everyone in the U.S. is like, "Oh shit, we should start doing that stuff over here." Because look how popular it was over there. Do you think that because this match happened and because it is generating this discussion and it is getting the praise that it deserves, now people in the U.S. will be like, "Oh, you know what? Maybe we can do this over here. Maybe it will work."
I think that this G1 and this final will be, in retrospect, very similar to 10 years ago. 2016 G1 had Kenny Omega become the first Gaijin to win the G1 Climax. And I remember back then in the internet wrestling community, everybody was raving about the Kenny Omega Tetsuya Naito block final. Like they were saying, like, this is one of the greatest matches of all time. And then he wins the G1, and everybody's like, "Oh, you got to watch this G1. You got to just watch the final two matches with Omega versus Naito versus Goto." And it started to get people like, "Oh, what's going on over here? What's going on over here with this Kenny Omega? Oh, he's going after the IWGP Heavyweight Championship." And then you have 6 months later the Okada-Omega matchup in the Tokyo Dome. If Oiwa wins the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and they run back Oiwa versus Uemura, or they're doing Tsuji wins, and it's Tsuji versus Uemura, and they can have a match even better than they did in the semifinals, I feel like that will be the key to the style that New Japan has crafted in 2026, having that reverberation throughout the industry, where you're going to see that ripple effect with more people. Because Okada and Omega, people want to say, "Oh, that's where everything started." But no, it was kind of a ripple effect from that G1 that kind of culminated with everybody being like, "Oh, wow, what's going on over here? Let's actually pay attention to what's going on with Omega and Okada." And then that style kind of dictated how the wrestling industry was for the last 10 years. So I think that whatever they're doing at the Tokyo Dome main event, that will be the match, not this one.
All right, last question. SB3. You know what ruined this match for me? It had nothing to do with the match itself, but I have to always nitpick something. And this actually wasn't part of the match. Why the fuck are we doing G1 cash-ins at King of Pro Wrestling again? I'm sick of this shit.
Dude, this
I'm
is
sick of
why, and I don't know, I let all the Oiwa fans be happy. Because you know me, I was going for Uemura. I've been saying Uemura's going to win the G1 since March, since he lost in the New Japan Cup. But the other reason why I want the Uemura to win, not just because I predicted him to win, because I was like, Uemura is a traditionalist. If he wins the G1, he will wait to the Tokyo Dome. Oiwa is the protege of fucking Zack Sabre Jr. the guy who started the trend of cashing in the G1 title shot at King of Pro Wrestling. I knew once Oyoa won, they're doing that match at King of Pro Wrestling, and Uemura will probably still be in the Tokyo Dome main event.
I'm sick of it. This is Zack Sabre Jr.'s biggest crime in pro wrestling. If you were mad at his in-ring work and you find it boring and everything, fine. That's your right to how you feel about these matches. The worst thing he ever did was have his match before the Tokyo Dome. But at least with him, like, it made sense. These last few, I'm tired of it. Tired of this shit.
Yeah, I don't think it made a whole lot of sense with Takeshita. It does make more sense with Oyoa because he's just following in the footsteps of Zack. But
he's an idiot.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, at least Zack, it was like, all right, yeah, let me do it in England. You know, that's where I'm from. Let's win it there, type of thing.
Well, no, he wanted to win it before they went to England, so he can have his first defense.
Right. I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it.
I get it. I get it.
Main event the Tokyo Dome, dummy.
It's gonna be very interesting, that title match in October, though. Like that's one that can go either way. I could see Tsuji retaining, or I could see Oyoa becoming the new champion.
I wouldn't be surprised if Oyoa wins and they set up the MORE rematch for Tokyo Dome, especially after the reaction to this match.
I feel like I know New Japan's trends, and I don't know if they'll run that back that fast. I feel like they want to build it up over time, and that more likely Oyoa Uemura 3 will be the Tokyo Dome main event in 2028.
Possibly. Just run it back and just do a headlock, like nothing but the headlock. I know that's basically this match, but like no one actually escapes. It's just headlock, wrist lock, counter, the entire, like literally nothing else. Just headlock, reversal into a wrist lock, reversal into a headlock.
We can't have that because the best moment of the matchup is freaking Oyoa going for the grip, and freaking Uemura does the arm drag out of the grip. Yeah. Oh my god! I replayed that clip like 100 times in the last 24 hours.
All right, SB3. You here tomorrow? Apparently Joel's here tomorrow. Everybody's here tomorrow.
You guys told me to show up for 5 days.
I don't. You don't listen to me, so I don't know who's showing up when.
Fair.
Look at that. It will be all three of us tomorrow. That should be fun. Talking about Monday Night Raw, unless it ends in a DQ.
Terrible. Yeah, then I'm not reviewing it.
What is the main event tonight?
Sol Ruka and Lyra Valkyria.
I mean, the Jey Uso Roman Reigns stuff with Solo was probably the last.
Yeah, that's going to be the main segment, but main event match.
Phoenix and Fiscal might be the last match before that segment.
Who?
What?
Phoenix and El Fiscal. One of the world title.
That's not going to the main event spot.
Dragon Lee. This is not main event. I'm talking about the match before the Roman.
Right, but I don't think that's going to be the last match on the show.
It could be Chad and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, that's probably.
So the other big stuff from G1 semifinals and finals weekend.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Someone mentioned it with Jeff Cobb returning. That's all I want to mention. Okay. But, all right, we'll talk about the rest tomorrow.
All right, thank you, SB3.
I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye, buddy.
Take care, SB3.
Later, y'all.
Do
we have to kick him off?
No, he can do it himself.
Okay, all right.
He run himself on too. Anyway, whatever, it's fine. No, clearly the stuff with Oyoa is just he's gonna get that briefcase, and he's gonna decide I'd rather have a Hell in a Cell match against Zack Sabre Jr. against my mentor. That's the story, right?
I hated that he isn't doing the Tokyo Dome. It's so stupid.
He can still do the Tokyo Dome. He just can't do it with his G1 title shot.
It's so dumb. I hate it.
If this is becoming the norm, then I guess maybe what the G1 will become. But they're still promoting it as a title match at Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom, right? Like going into the G1 season.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not saying, they haven't changed the verbiage. Is what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous. Title shots should not be fluid unless you tell them that they are fluid. If you tell me that you win this match and you get a title shot on X date, or X event, you get that date, you get that event. It shouldn't be I'm putting it off for this reason or that reason.
They're not putting it off. They're doing it earlier.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is you shouldn't be able to change the date or put it earlier. It should be this is the title shot. You build to that. Don't call it earlier. It's kind of nuts.
It's dumb.
It is. It is. There are a lot of dumb things. It's wrestling.
Yeah, it's like winning the Owen. Be like, I want my title shot of redemption. Why?
Yeah. Why would you do that? That also makes the wrestler look dumb because it is the biggest event of the year and you've been guaranteed a world title shot, what could possibly be the main event of the show, the last bout on the show, on the card, and you're giving it up because you want to go on a different, smaller show.
Stupid.
It is. And again, it's wrestling. So like everything's predetermined. We get it. The booking is not the way, it's not real life. But if you want to book it like real life, yeah, you should have the winner of the G1 planning to go after the world title at Wrestle Kingdom.
They've just done it too much now. Like this is like the third straight year, the 3rd in 4. Like it's just like now this is just the norm. It's like, can we get back to just main eventing the Tokyo Dome like a normal person?
Show the people that the winner of the G1 is supposed to be your main event guy to pay attention to. Obviously within reason. The person that you're supposed to pay attention to for the next, 4 months, 5 months going into Tokyo Dome. Show the world that this is your prime target for main event status. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, then you didn't waste 5 months. You tried to build something that didn't happen. So it's just silly. Then you got the other side of the thing where Obafemi, but that's also stupid.
Yeah, well, we've called that out for being stupid.
Well, someone
I'm going to call this out for being stupid.
It is. Yeah, and like you were saying, and others have said in the chat, the cashing in the Owen before All In. It's like, no, you keep that because that's the title shot. That is the time. That is the moment that you get it. The tournament has to mean something. The tournament has to be prestigious enough to want to be in it in the future and make it a big deal so that when it's tournament time, you're locked in, you're paying attention. If the G1, for example, becomes a title shot for whenever you want it, briefcase style and Money in the Bank style, then it's like, let's not. The Casino Gauntlet, the smartest thing I think they did was change it to the 7-day cash-in, because at least you're giving a week to prepare the match, to get people excited, to get the word out that it's happening, because not everyone's watching live week to week. You can at least say, hey, you got a week, you've got appointment viewing. If you'll find it through socials, you'll find it some way this match will happen. That I appreciate, but cash-ins are whatever. Cash-ins are cash-ins when you get money. That one's more of that's a gimmick. It's a silly, but it's a gimmick.
A gimmick is, a cash-in is a cash-in. Like
what do you call it? Winning the Rumble, for example. You go to Mania, that's the match. Same thing, Elimination Chamber now. You win the match, you go on to WrestleMania. Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it as a maybe. You gotta set it straight. That's what I think. Anyway, we're an hour into the show and I didn't get to tell people to leave a thumbs up on the video. So here's your pyro. Enjoy it. And while you're at it, leave that thumbs up because this is the time. Subscribe to the channel here, Fightful Overbooked, because we are here 5 days a week doing this show and plenty others, whether it's the Spotlight on Thursday evenings with Jeremy and Steven Jensen, whether that's on Fridays coexisting with Rob and Maggie, or Sundays JPJ and Collins go coast to coast. They are all fantastic contributors to whom you can give your money through a super chat. Any amount, get your question or your statement read on the air. Mikey V started off saying C3 is jeopardizing the annual Nigel and Lee match. We'll get into that in a couple minutes. And we'll get back to that. And then Cyclops is better than Wolverine, saying, why do you hate AEW and Will Ospreay so much? It's true, you do. You criticize something, therefore you hate it.
I would like all of AEW to just be working holds, and I would like Will Ospreay to be the assassin and not the aerial assassin. Just drop out the aerial portion.
You will get what you get. Deal with it. That's it. Should we touch on this real quick? We can do Collision in not too long, because Collision was a good wrestling show. They moved forward a bunch of Challenge Cup contenders. Nigel McGuinness defeated Katsuyori Shibata in what was a really, really, really good match. Unfortunately, after that, we had a voiceover from Tony Schiavone saying that Nigel is injured, and they're going to address that on Monday as to what that means. So I guess the assumption is Nigel is out. There's a potential that the injury is not so bad that they on Monday say he's going to compete, but they're going to wait until like Collision, or at least like as late as they can, so that he has the last match on the draw. But that's what we're at. So but either way, Nigel McGuinness is scheduled to face Lee Moriarty at Death Before Dishonor this coming Friday. So that's another thing that's kind of put potentially on the back burner. So we'll see. Either way, that was something that happened. We hope that nothing is too severe with Nigel in this injury that they're talking about.
Yeah, hopefully things are good with Nigel. I really like this match. I really like O'Reilly and Strong. The rest of the show, it was like good stuff, but I mean, if you want to watch it, like I didn't think anything like super stood out. Like Mercedes and Zeta was good. Probably need a little bit more time to be a little bit more meaningful. But O'Reilly, Strong, and Nigel and Shibata were really good. And yeah, it was heavy on the wrestling, as most of the taped collisions are. It's heavy on the wrestling. I guess we're gonna get a Hurt Syndicate and SDP feud. No,
brother, I don't know what's going on. You can never tell with Hurt Syndicate because, like we've talked about, things start and then things stop, and sometimes it's planned and sometimes it's not. So I don't put much stock into whatever's going on there until they figure themselves out.
I actually like this idea. They should just do Deanna and Lee.
All about it.
Yeah, title and title. That'd be great.
Your knows no gender. Pure,
true.
The pure fluidity title.
True.
Just let them cook, as the kids say.
Yeah, it's gonna be a STP and Hurt Syndicate feud. It feels like that's one of those things of we have Hurt Syndicate. Who can they beat? Because they ain't beating anybody else, and they ain't working with anybody else.
Yeah. So they're just waiting, and we'll see what happens next.
I'm glad Shane Taylor Promotions is like staying on on AEW. I'd like to see them actually like gain some traction and momentum and not just lose to these groups, because that's what happens to all these ROH acts. But I'm glad they're at least like continuing to be a staple of at least Collision.
Otherwise, on the Continental Challenge Cup, you've had Cesaro defeat Brian Cage, and then there was Kyle O'Reilly defeating Roderick Strong. I really liked the Strong and O'Reilly match. I thought it was again, these two. One thing that I actually really appreciated is for the people who are like they don't tell the stories in these tournaments or anything like that, which is typically bullshit. But in this case, I really like the backstage that they did with Kyle and Roderick Strong, where Kyle was like, "You were my mentor. I studied your tapes. We've been partners. We've been enemies. We've done it all, blah, blah, blah. I respect you immensely. I'm not going to hold back tonight." Little things like that get you invested in a match, in a story, so much more efficiently than just ignoring it and not drawing any attention to it. So I really liked it. The match itself was, of course, what it was going to be, which is a great kind of technical affair. And these two went out and had a great main event match. Strong being frustrated in the moment, I think, added to the importance of the tournament that they're doing. And at the end of the day, they're still going to be friendly. They're still going to get along, and they're still going to be part of the conglomeration. So good match, good storytelling.
I was thinking of the trios champions still, but I forgot they lost those belt like 5 title changes ago.
Yeah, don't try to keep up with the trios titles. They just exist and they float.
Well, they were defended on this show. I mean, Blake Christian should have won, but he did not. Hopefully Motor City Machine Guns actually do something on the show for now. It does look like they're going to feud with Blake Christian and Lee Johnson, which is a good first match for those guys. Blake Christian should, of course, win. But I do like that being kind of their first program and match, because that'll probably be, really good. They won't work enough holds, but it should be really good.
Really sucks that we can't complain about not having Boner City because the theme that they picked is a theme by their band.
No, I mean, you can still complain about it. It's fine.
We can still complain about it, but either way, I mean, it's like, well, no, it's like everyone who's like, "Oh, we're getting some up in arms. It's their band. They want to put their band over." I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Doesn't mean that we can't want Boner City. Bring it back. They should do a version of their theme, of the Boner City theme. Just cover it. It'll be fine. Anyway, the Jack Perry and Swerve backstager I thought was really good. The pre-tape. I've liked what they're doing with Jack Perry so far. I like that again, talking about characters, he's losing, but he's losing meaningful matches, and he's not losing in squashes. As a result, he is proving that he is willing to rise up the ranks and pay his dues, if you will. and it looks like Swerve and Jungle Jack Perry could be en route to something. But I like it.
I don't know. I wonder if that's going to be the all-in match, or if they're just going to both be in the Casino Gauntlet. Which I know we're talking New Day coming in, and maybe this was a red herring of it's not going to be New Day, and instead Swerve is going to get a guy like Jack Perry and then somebody else, and like that's going to be his trios team. So it could it could go in a few different directions. But again, it could also just be it's red herring. He might feud with Jack Perry. Maybe this is the link to New Day does come in, and you get Jack Perry and the Bucks against Swerve and New Day. That's the link to Bucks against New Day. So there's some directions to go with this.
What if, remember the line at the end of it, don't bring a knife to a Swerve fight? You know what the line traditionally is?
Yeah, don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
To a gunfight. Well, maybe it's a machine gun fight. Maybe it's Jack Perry is actually going to get Motor City Machine Guns, take on Swerve and whatever group he has flanked with him. I'm really digging deep for this idea, folks. I'm not standing by it.
Yeah, I thought the don't bring a knife to a Swerve fight was a dumb line.
I also was just like, Swerve fight exactly? Hypodermic needles? Because you see those in a lot of different Swerve matches, or a lot of different matches, not just Swerve.
I just didn't think it worked as a line when like Ricochet told you leave and then you just left on Wednesday. I was like, you weren't trying to fight anybody on Wednesday.
He's trying to make a point. True.
He said sword fight, Mikey V.
Did he say
Mikey V says it's sword fight, not sword fight.
Are you sure? Hold on, let's see. No, he says sword fight. It's actually written in the collision results tab. It says Swerve warned him not to bring a knife to a Swerve fight. It's written.
I thought it was Swerve fight as well.
Yeah, it is a Swerve fight.
Unless Mikey V is just like connecting the whole Drew McIntyre thing.
Maybe, which is also very funny. I would love to be sword fight.
He didn't leave. He swerved to avoid damage.
That's what you do. If there's one thing I know is that you have to swerve to avoid damage, so you're not at fault, and therefore your insurance has to.
He swerves when he drives, not swerves when he walks.
Also, not a good thing to do. You should swerve when you drive. People will come after you for that. Anything else from Collision that we need to get into? I mean, the trios match happened. The good, the bad, and the ugly is who's no. They, like you said, defeated the Lethal Twist, and then afterwards things happened, and the demand showed up, and they cut a promo.
Aha!
That is the opening of their theme. That was it. Oh, and then they did the Rascals and Leo Rush did the comedy spot, which I thought was fun.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about Leo Rush sometimes. He leans into that gimmick so well.
He's found his niche. Like it's not a main event act or anything, but he's getting on television. He's getting in different segments. It was part of the friggin' cage at Forbidden Door. Like it didn't really go anywhere. He's a cool
too.
What?
He was part of Stadium Stampede too.
Yeah, like he's a cool vignette guy. And he can go in the ring. I'm not saying, I'm not saying
how I felt about him, by the way, and that's a good thing.
I'm not saying he can't go in the ring or anything. I just don't know, I don't think they have like big in-ring plans for him outside of ROH, which sure everybody can win a title in ROH. I just don't think they have like big in-ring plans in AEW for him. But as far as like backstage segments and kind of connecting pieces or interacting with various wrestlers who may or may not be doing anything, like he's very useful in that spot. And look, I was down on it from the beginning. I just didn't think that it wasn't for me, but he's almost gone more comedy than spooky. Like it's still spooky, but it's not Malakai Black spookiness stuff. Like it is kind of, I don't take this too serious. It's goofy and campy, and that I'm all about. And I appreciate that he's at least done that, because I don't think this would work nearly to the level if it was trying to be more serious spookiness, because I don't think serious spookiness works in wrestling.
How dare you? I'll have you know. No, it doesn't work. But I don't know. Like we saw the chat was saying, Leo Rush is the perfect version of. Okay, that was weird. The rain came, but it wasn't actually from that. It was a message that I got saying congratulations, and
The
it was
Rain. AEW. Leo Rush. The Rain.
Oh, we are part of the AEW podcast network. For those who don't know,
Yeah, true.
the day is coming. We're gonna be there. So will you. I might not be there. Listen, if they pay me enough, I will come back just for you guys. And because I appreciate everyone. Volib saying, seems like I missed quite the week last week. I'll miss having Joel around, I think. Yeah, I will. Wedding was fun. Got some ass. Hell yeah. Good on you. I hope it was consensual and I hope you had fun.
Touch some ass. Consensually, yes.
I'm glad you had fun. I'm sorry you missed last week, but also, there's the news. As I am leaving, this is my last week. And I'm starting to get text messages from people who had no idea because I have not told a lot of people.
Yeah, I like how Tony Khan broke your news.
That's true. If there's one thing, listen, Tony's been very good to me for the last little while. Shout out to the AEW Together team. They came through with the donation to C4, which was fantastic. They were class act the whole way, talking to them, very much in communication, giving me everything that I needed, everything that I asked for, and everything worked out. So again, shout out to them. I wanted to leave this business, I guess, work, I guess, having done some good things, and this was something very meaningful to me. And that was when Tony opened up the floodgates, or when Jeremy opened up the floodgates about the glasses, and I was just like, let's get even bigger.
Which I still don't have.
I actually went to the merch table because that's where everything was silent off the style at C4. So I went down to the table and I asked Maddie. Shout out to Maddie, by the way, fantastic. He does all the merch at C4. He's always there. He's always smiling. He's a wonderful dude. Shout out to him. He was standing by the AEW stuff, and I asked him, like, when you guys opened that box, was there a thing of glasses in there? And he's like, I'm crazy. I'm just like, wait a minute. What do you mean? And I was just like, don't worry about it. There's no glasses. He's like, all right, no glasses. So yeah, I tried. Sean did not leak that my wife's pregnant. Sean doesn't know. I don't even think Sean knows that I'm leaving at this point.
No, he didn't, because he messaged me and he does now.
He's a little busy.
He messaged me and he's like, is Joel like done with wrestling stuff? Because he didn't say anything to me. And I'm like, well, I mean, for now, yes. I was like, I barely talked to him because he messaged me on like Wednesday or Thursday. And, I was like, he told me this on Monday, and then he was gone for the week. So like, we haven't really talked about stuff moving forward, but you should probably like let Sean know a little bit what's going on.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like I've been doing the TNA show for the last 3 weeks, and he knows about it. At least I thought I know. I don't know. I don't know who knows anything anymore.
Well, I don't know if he knew like you were like fully leaving this show and everything. Like
that was kind of an unexpected new turn, and then I was leaving for the week. Sean should fire
me. That would actually be funny.
Fair. He should fire me on my last day. He should get Jimmy to give him the Fightful championship. That's what he should do.
You're not getting that title.
I deserve it.
No, you don't.
Fine. Screw you. There's nothing else from this show that I think we need to really cover, I think.
Collision? Yeah. We are getting United Empire members back. I do look forward to seeing Hanare, friend of the show, Hanare, back.
Wow, no love for Callum Newman, little brother.
I don't think Newman...
Hello, Newman.
Is going to be on the show?
Well, I mean, he mentioned Callum Newman.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned him, but he's not part of the match. It's Hanare and Akira. So.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying down the line, he could be back.
I mean, yeah, but he's not on this show.
Fair. I got a super chat from Delayed Grat saying, Joel's leaving? Sorry, I'm late. Just wanted to drop a super chat to show how much I appreciate the work you've done here. Good luck and much success in the next chapter of your journey. Thank you very much, Delayed Grats. Appreciate it very much. You're the best. There you go. No one's replacing me as Fightful champion. You got to beat me first. Or I get 30 days to show up with a face mask or something. That's how it works, right?
Yes.
Okay, good stuff.
It's already been 1,700 days. So
1,779. 1979.
So like you're way past the 30-day mark.
Well, you know, I've been doing my work outside of the promotion. I don't have to wrestle. I just have to show up for appearances. You know what I mean? Stephanie McMahon doing, you know what I mean? But doing it in a very white woman voice. Anyway, SmackDown opened up with general manager Nick Aldis, big old loser Nick Aldis, calling out Chelsea Green and telling her, hey, you have bad luck. Maybe I should take your title. And then Chelsea Green defends herself and says, I may be a big loser, but I won the women's world championship. And yes, I got hurt, but I can still go even though I can't. And look at my face. And then Nick Aldis said, well, Nick Aldis, the GM, he would take away your title. But Nick Aldis, the man, is going to give you 30 days to figure your shit out. Which, by the way, is just the funniest thing to think about. She also put over, you know, Nick's wife, because that's how you get over. I thought the promo from Chelsea was great, by the way. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, it was good stuff from Chelsea, and this was for an opening segment, and we'll get into the Gunther stuff after that. But I thought it was very effective. I thought she was great.
Yeah, I thought Chelsea was fantastic in this segment. It was, it's a scripted TV show, so fine. It did feel like a little bit of a forced segment because, all right, why aren't we holding Liv to the standard? Why didn't we hold Rhea to the standard and instead we did an interim title? Like, why are we just doing this with Chelsea of like, you have 30 days to defend. I was going to strip you before that. Like, it's kind of dumb, especially when we're looking at recent history. It's not even like this was stuff that happened 5 years ago. It's literally stuff that happened over the last month or two. But certainly Chelsea did the absolute best with the material given, and she was fantastic in this. Cut a great promo. Got the crowd on her side even further. So she's going to be like one of the biggest baby faces if she wasn't already. So certainly in the women's division until they beat her in her first match, and then she just loses the title to Nia Jax. But Chelsea was really strong. Logistically, didn't make the most sense in the world, but the performances were good.
Yeah, the crowd was invested, which is kind of what matters. But yeah, I didn't really love that Chelsea was like, I'm a big loser, and everyone comes to me to put over the others, and I did it, and then I won my match, and I deserve to stick with it. So yeah, she has 30 days to figure it out. And then Gunther comes out, and Gunther's like, hey, why did you add Kevin Owens to my match? To which Aldis is like, well, I mean, it was Kevin Owens' match, and also we're not talking about that right now. And then Matt Cardona comes out, and Matt Cardona's like, hey, stop talking about my wife. And he's like, I wasn't talking about your wife, but I could call her every slur.
He said slur in the book.
What slur are you going to call her? What is Chelsea Green is just a white lady. What are you going to call her?
Yeah, calling her every slur in the book. I was like, what? Hold on. Did we have to use that word there? That was a little much. I mean, like all this, or Gunther saying like, if he said like I call her every name in the book and you won't do anything, like, should Gunther be this like sexist dude who's like bullying women? No. But as far as the story goes, okay, he interrupted her. She was taking shots at him of like, oh, that was a good one, Nick Burn. So, and it was a way to get heat on the Gunther and Cardona stuff, but saying like I could call her every slur in the book wasn't even the worst line on the show, believe it or not. But it wasn't a good line though.
No, it was very strange. And then Gunther and Matt Cardona have a match. Gunther wins. Cardona got a couple of hope spots in, but otherwise this was...
Somebody said it's the ring general versus the cater ring general, and I died at that comment.
It's very good.
I like Cardona. I mean, I wanted him to come out and beat up Nick Aldis. Once Gunther came out, I was like, dude, you gotta stay your ass in the back. I did also like that they were just like in their street clothes and it was an impromptu match. Like that was a nice little touch on this. But I died at the Ring General versus Cater Ring General.
It's a very good one. And then the continuing Nia Jax story tells Chelsea, you're a ticking clock, and I'm going to beat you once you're okay. And then Tiffany Stratton makes the save because that's what she does, because they're friends now. Again, we don't know why Tiffany and Chelsea Green became friends. It just kind of happened. So that is the thing. And then later on in the nights, let's get to this now. Tiffany Stratton is a dumb babyface, has a match with JC Jane. It was fine. It wasn't really that good. There was quite a few moments where it was like the swanton spot. Wow, JC Jane got crushed by a Tiffany Stratton swanton and barely kicked out. There were a few moments, but a match happened. And then she goes up top, does Tiffany Stratton, and instead of hitting the move that she's supposed to move, I think it was the moonsault at that point, she then repositions and kicks out the other members of Fatal Attraction or Fatal Influence. That's what it is, because I never get their name right. And because she's trying to save Chelsea, who was being not swarmed but looked at menacingly by the other two women who are in Fatal Influence. And that led to that led to Tiffany eating a rolling encore and losing her title to JC Jane. So JC Jane is the new U.S. women's title holder, and Tiffany Stratton looks like an idiot. And then she's inevitably going to turn on what's her face after Nia Jax beats let's try this again. After Chelsea beats Nia Jax somehow, Tiffany is going to turn on Chelsea, and then that's going to be a thing. There you go.
I mean, Tiffany never really turned babyface to me.
No, she didn't. They skipped that part.
Yeah. I mean, faces and heels don't matter, as we've learned throughout the years with this company. Just say it's Tiffy time, and you'll get a reaction. Yeah, Tiffany probably will make a turn, and Chelsea will get her one defense against Nia, and then lose to Tiffany. And sure, but match was there. Like there was no like great matches on this show. It was just all matches that existed, and cool on JC for winning. That group debuted with a lot of heat, and then for some reason they beat him at every turn, and now they're all champions. So good for them.
Sure, good for them. People cheered Tiffany because she has an exciting moveset.
I guess.
Oh man, Tiffany Stratton is she is who she is. Izzy Dame, I guess. Tiffy Dame. Yeah. The backstage with Charlotte, Alexa, and Tatum, I thought was very funny because the acting is not very strong, but you can tell they're really trying. And so it's Charlotte who is like globbed on to Alexa Bliss for some reason. You're my best friend. I love you. Oh my God. And then they open the door and there's a tiny little locker room with Tatum Paxley being weird with photos. And Charlotte's just like, oh no, Bliss is like, this is kind of like what I used to be. Oh, come on in. And like they're feigning kindness because they're afraid of what's her face of Tatum Paxley. And then they all walk in, and this is my favorite part. They all walk into this tiny locker room and say, oh, it's so quaint. And Charlotte's like, I have my own locker room. And then the door just kind of closes, and that's the end of the scene. I love the stupid door closing on the scene. That's always my favorite little spot. But yes, they had a very small locker room that was pipe and draped to make even smaller. So there you go. Tatum Paxley, she's got friends.
For now. Everyone seems to turn on Tatum Paxley. So
poor Tatum.
I don't know if it's going to end well.
One of these days, she'll have a friend that actually. Baron Corbin and Carmelo Hayes had a match. Everyone's upset because Carmelo Hayes wasn't super over in his hometown, even though nobody really realized that it was his hometown until last week when he said, we're in my hometown next week. And everyone was like, oh, okay.
We had this discussion, a couple of weeks ago with the Tiffany, Minnesota stuff. Like, they think this hometown stuff is way more important than it is. Like, there's only a few wrestlers who actually, especially in WWE, who like actually get that in the United States, who actually get like that. Oh, this is their hometown association. And Carmelo Hayes ain't one of them.
I got nothing to say about it. This match was okay. I felt bad that Hayes got dumped to the floor from top rope and landed straight on his tailbone. That sucked. He kind of slipped on the back, but it didn't matter because Corbin then hit the end of days, and that was the end of the match. And there it is. Then Trick Williams came out, and
I don't need Trick and Corbin continuing.
No.
Honestly, is Trick gonna win the title back? Okay, maybe they'll do a triple threat match, and Carmelo gets pinned in that one. I like Carmelo. I think there's probably more to do with Carmelo, but they don't see it, at least for now. I don't know if they're gonna see it. Trick might be on pace to win Money in the Bank. It could be Penta. It seems like those are the two favorites because they're on the poster. What?
I feel like it's Braun.
Okay, maybe. I don't know if Braun's gonna be in that match. That seems like we'll see.
We will.
But I don't know if we need more Baron Corbin, Trick Williams.
No,
honestly.
No, we can move on from Baron Corbin and Trick Williams and find literally anyone else. Damian Priest and Baron Corbin. I'll take that.
I'm not mad at Damian Priest and Baron Corbin.
Two big dudes beating each other up. Could be fun. Could be effective.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that one because Priest now in the tag team division. I mean, his partnership with R-Truth was always really like, hey, let's get the titles on two singles guys because we have no idea what we're doing in the tag division. But now they're doing, Haku's kids are the champions, so you don't really need to do more Priest and R-Truth stuff. They probably will, but maybe you just fold that into the US title stuff and you can do Priest and Corbin. Like elevate Trick into the thing with Trick is like he's super over and they love the entrance. I think they love that little yachty's there. His matches haven't been like great. I think that's why they maybe don't want to kind of elevate him into something higher just yet. At some point you gotta elevate this guy though. He's kind of too over to just have him losing to Baron Corbin or feuding with Baron Corbin every week.
Yeah. Tag titles change hands. The MF and Tongans win the tag titles. They beat the War Raiders, Damian Priest and R-Truth, and sure, why not? Good for them. They are the tag champions in a division that has no tag teams. But soon they're going to get one more because soon Shinsuke Nakamura is going to have a friend. And who that friend is, he's a ticking time bomb. So everyone has now moved over to it's Hiromu Takahashi. Unless it's
probably is Hiromu Takahashi.
Maybe it's Finn Balor because maybe Finn Balor was a ticking time bomb at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe he meant to say rock and roller, but he said ticking time bomb.
Okay. Shinsuke and Hiromu should be fun. Them against Haku's kids. Yeah, it's different. It's new. I can at least respect that aspect of it because it feels like there's so much of the same stuff on the show. But
they are going to make Hiromu and Shinsuke strange, quirky Japanese tag team number 8 before you know it.
Sure. I mean, they're going to screw it all up and it's not going to be interesting after a week or two, but let me be excited for now, Yes.
Be excited, but also keep your expectations low.
My expectations are always low.
Fair. There you go. They showed Hiromu's jacket. But what if it wasn't? What if it wasn't? What if it was actually the Rock and Rollers jacket? And this is all a big red herring.
What if it was what's the dude's name with the jacket from NXT? Jacket Time.
Oh my God, it's gonna kill me now.
With Kushida.
And Ikemanjaro. Yeah.
Maybe it's Ikemanjaro's return.
What's he doing?
He was in Noah. He went back to Japan for something.
Yeah.
I don't fully remember what, but
he is currently performing as Kuroshio Tokyo, Japan. It is okay. Hold on. I have no idea.
He's been all over Japan. GLEAT, all Japan. He did do some stuff with Noah. Not as much as it was more All Japan. I thought it was more Noah, but DDT, yeah, he's been everywhere. Good on him.
Good for them. What was his last match? Oh, okay. Just
WWE?
No. His last wrestling
recently. He's super active.
Yesterday. Yeah. He wrestled yesterday.
Yeah.
He had a match against Hayabusa.
Yeah, he's super active.
Yeah.
It's just he's not Ikemanjaro anymore.
Poor Ikemanjaro. Could have been the guy. Anyway, we'll see what happens if and when it's Hiromu and Shinsuke taking on the MF and Tongans.
Haku's kids.
Kids of the kids of Haku. All right, we'll get to the KO stuff in a minute, but I think otherwise it was just the Cody stuff. And this all started because Sammy was in the back and he's complaining about something, and Cody's talking to Aldis, and Cody says enough, and he starts to lean a little heel, and then they decide to make a match because Cody's like, I'm sick of your shit, so how about you and me fight each other? And Sammy's like, no, my hand is broken. And then my favorite part was Cody saying, I don't care about your what he called it, like tendonitis, gouts.
Yeah, he did say something about gout.
It was I was like, gouts? What are you doing? What's this? So that is a thing that happened. And then they made the match, but of course with only 4 minutes left in the show, didn't matter because Cody made his entrance, and then Randy Orton showed up, and they did a walk and brawl quickly, and that was the end of the show. There was no match between Sam and Cody.
Yeah, technically not a DQ because the match never started. So that is why I'm still reviewing SmackDown today, because the match never actually got underway. So it wasn't a match. It was just an angle. And sure, more Cody and Randy stuff. I cannot possibly care about these guys and doing this stuff. They got a lot to make up for. And it's not their fault, performers. It's not their fault for what happened at WrestleMania leading into it. I mean, the match layout for that was terrible, and I will put some blame on them because they should have had a different match layout. But they got to do something. They got to do something to actually hook me back into this because it ain't there for me.
Yeah, my hope is that they actually tell a cohesive story about the two instead of what they've been doing. And once that happens, then they'll be able to move on with life.
Right now, the cohesive story is RAW, I hate you.
Yeah, and Cody being like, he's one step away from saying, I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy, even though he's never been the guy.
QB1.
Oh, depends who you ask.
I'm not the coach. I'm not the backup. I'm the quarterback.
Yeah, how's that working for you in a world where Roman Reigns just shows up, gets a world title, and just does whatever he wants, and he's the night 2 main eventer forever and ever? Amen.
Beastly.
That's the one thing. Again, it's like you can't call yourself QB1 or be the guy if you've got Roman Reigns, and he's very firmly the guy.
Beastly.
Yeah. Pat McAfee should come back, play his album, and reinsert himself into the story.
Click clack.
Do you think Randy Orton will say nice things about the Pat McAfee album for not just engagement, but also for heat on the show?
No, they're not going to acknowledge that album at all.
Wow. But it's a great album, according to those few people.
According to ESPN employees who want to remain ESPN employees.
See, here's an extra $100. Say nice things. Ooh, $100. And then so that happened. They had the walk and brawl. Obviously, the main event of the show was the crossover between Kevin Owens and CM Punk. Someone asking, did I listen to the Pat McAfee record? No, I didn't. Will I? Enough people are talking about it that I don't want to, but I know
Joel's not going to listen to it.
For the bit, I might listen to bits and pieces, but
you're not. We listened to that whole thing on Friday's show.
You did, eh? I know you. Yeah. I know you tweeted about it, and I was like, "Oh dear!" And then people started asking me, like, "Hey, Joel, are you going to review it?" And I was just like, "They did already."
Yeah, but you're the music guy, so like, you should be listening to this more than we.
His producer confirmed that it was made using AI. Ugh.
I mean, that's not like surprising.
Not at all surprising. I'm curious about what exactly was AI in the production, because I mean, auto tuning you can technically call it AI, but like it's a machine learning thing. Like, but everybody in the industry uses AI for that, like for auto tuning. That's something that you can set up to fix abnormalities in voices, and that has become just kind of an okay thing with the industry. But I don't know what else was brought in, because if it was like
Cam and Joel listening to and reviewing this album would be hilarious.
That's true. Cam would have much more flavorful information or things to say.
That's racist.
What did I say?
You said flavorful.
Oh, his words are very flavorful. Have you ever eaten Cam Hawkins' words? They're delicious. It's not racist, it's factual.
You should listen to one song on it. You should listen to the song that SB3 and I actually like gave a passing grade to.
Was it Click Clack or was it a different?
Yeah. No, okay. Click Clack was kind of a banger, not gonna lie.
Okay. I'll take a listen. I will actually do it, and then tomorrow I'll report back.
No, we're gonna listen on air.
No. I don't like listening on air because I don't like the dead air while I'm trying to focus on music.
I'll talk.
No,
just mute me.
Pay attention. No,
just mute me.
Let me do it tomorrow morning. Let me have it done tomorrow when I actually am not thinking about the 50 other things I have to do today.
It's more fun when we see like the facial expressions as you're listening to it and everything. Content, Joel. Content.
I'm sure. I'll leave it for now. Do it tomorrow. Although I do love that Garrett Bailey wrote an entire album review and it's on SB Nation.
Oh, did he?
Pat McAfee album review, a train of diarrhea and disappointments.
Oh, what's Jared doing right now? Hold on.
To which Jarrett also said in the tweet, I listened to the entire Pat McAfee album because I guess I'm a masochist.
Fair.
That is fair.
Hold on, let me message Jarrett. I love Jarrett. Let me message him and be like, come on the show and talk about the Pat McAfee album. I'll invite him on tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll see if he wants to be on the show tomorrow. Why can't I message Jared Bailey? Okay, there we go.
Because he hates you. He blocked you.
Are you free tomorrow between 10 a.m. Eastern and noon Eastern to join the show and talk about the McAfee album? I love how this is me bringing Jarrett back on the show. Let's talk about the McAfee album. All right.
Hey man, he's gonna need. He's gonna join ITW. He's gonna be the new Monday co-host. Congratulations.
I would like Jared to do that. Jared and I did a very good review of the Rumble a few years ago.
Too late.
Jared's a commitment to the bit guy as well, which I respect.
Yes, it's true. Commitment to the bit of wearing hats that are too tall in his head.
Yeah, I respect Jared Bailey.
And Batman. He loves Batman.
The other good thing about like Jared is he would do Wednesday, which means it's NXT, which means neither of us will watch the show. And we just talk about football the entire time, which is way better use of our time than talking about NXT. So Jared would actually be a good guest.
Be good for like 16 weeks of the year, 17 weeks of the year. I guess 18 now.
Oh, we can talk football, off-season stuff. Football doesn't end.
You guys are going to be doing snake drafts for 3 weeks.
That's fine. Jared's a content person too. Like he knows the deal. He's on the Bleacher Report and has to come up with content ideas all the time. So yeah, Jared's a content guy too.
Yeah, well, he's around. He's another name in the hat. CM Punk, Kevin Owens. They met again in the ring. And this time, they basically told you CM Punk is the bad guy, but they also told you got to cheer CM Punk because he's the bad guy. They brought up the 20 years ago. They brought up the Ring of Honor stuff again, but this time they explained it. And they got their ooh spots. They made reference to AEW without making reference to AEW. They did everything that was legally permissible. And I don't even know anymore. I like Kevin Owens. I love Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens being the guy to do this promo was probably the best you could have done. It was, people liked it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was, again, if you want to get people invested in the two guys going after the world title story, this wasn't it. If it's two guys who have if it's Punk who has the world title and Kevin Owens wants it, this was not about that. It was about the hatred that they had for each other, and Kevin Owens just saying, "I should have slapped you 20 years ago," and Punk going, "LOL, you're fat. You should hit me now," and Kevin Owens saying, "Nah, I can wait 7 more days." And like there's more to it than that in the promo, but in terms of like getting an audience of people who just want to see two guys fight for a title and have some sort of story in it, they did better than last week to get there. But this is still another, we gotta go a little inside to get you in there, to get you interested. It was fine.
This sucked.
Did you really think it sucked?
Yes. And I say this as someone who liked last week's segment.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed last week's segment, because last week's segment, up until the shove, which I thought was a little corny, like I thought last week's segment felt very real, and they felt like there was some actual hatred between these two. This sucked to me. Like this felt so produced and scripted, and they were like trying to talk over each other, but it just like it didn't land. The endometriosis line, one, it didn't make sense.
That was dumb.
I don't even know what he was trying to accomplish with that. That was terrible. You take that line out of it, because he was trying to make like some joke because Obafemi rhymes with endometriosis, I guess. It's close. I don't know what he was trying to accomplish.
I think he was trying to say that Obafemi has a strange name, and endometriosis is the closest thing to fat that sounds like Obafemi, and he just reached his way across for that one.
I guess
it was not good.
Even take out like that line from it, the rest of this just was not good. Like they had no chemistry in this back and forth. Like it was just like awkward the way they were talking to each other. It's like they were trying to make it feel real and heated, and in trying to do that, it just didn't feel that way at all. Especially compared to even last week. Like I won't even compare it to, obviously the stuff with like Punk and Moxley and Punk and Eddie, and even the stuff with Punk and Roman. Like I won't even compare it to that and how that actually felt real. Just go back last week. I thought last week felt very real between them. This week did not feel real at all. I don't mind them mentioning like the 20 years of history and how you talk to me in the t-shirt. I said on our preview with SB3, I was like, I think they're going to bring up the Austin match, because that's a WWE canon thing that obviously Punk was upset about, or he wanted, and Punk was like, I was happy for you. That was the most real part of this whole thing. And Punk was like, I was happy for you. And Kay was like, no, you weren't. I was like, okay, that actually feels real on this. The rest of this, none of it felt real. And then on top of it, I didn't think the material, especially Punk stuff, I didn't think the material was good. Because he's saying, like, I look at you and you should be 1% better and you should work harder. Like, I was just talking about his physique, which, okay, is Kevin the most jacked guy in the world? No, like, that's not the appeal of Kevin Owens. The appeal is he is an everyman. Like, if he was just the most jacked guy in the world, he wouldn't hit the same. He wouldn't be Kevin Owens at that point. But that's Punk's whole thing, is like, oh, you should work harder and be 1% better. That shit worked when it was Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston had never been the world champion in a major company. He never headlined the big matches. This was pre-Continental Classic Eddie Kingston too. Like Eddie had been to TNA, and that was kind of, I guess, his highest peak. Is he was TNA, where he was kind of just more known as a manager than a wrestler there. Like that was as far as like national exposure. That was Eddie's highest peak. So like it worked when you're doing this to Eddie, and like you screwed up the opportunities you got because you didn't work hard enough and blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, it works. Cool with Eddie. And then Eddie fired back. That was all great stuff. You're doing this with Kevin Owens, who literally just said, I've main evented WrestleMania twice. I've won championships at WrestleMania. I've won world titles in this company. I faced Steve Austin, a match you wanted for years, in the main event of WrestleMania. Like, you can't say, oh, if you worked harder, you would have got further. Like, he would have had more world title reigns. Like, that fucking matters in a scripted wrestling promotion. Like, I'm sorry. This material wasn't good. For the most part, this delivery wasn't good. I thought this segment sucked.
It's like I said, this isn't getting anyone invested in a world title match. It's two guys that you probably like, just taking pot shots at each other and pointing to their history. And at the end of the day, you're like, this is uncomfortable, even though they're working and clearly they're okay with whatever. Or maybe they're not. Maybe they're just like, say whatever and we'll be okay, pal. Like, they clearly are not friends. They have not been friends for a very long time. You know, the story is that Kevin was not a big fan of Punk even coming back to WWE in the first place. So treading that line is just kind of like, sure, you'll say whatever, I'll say whatever, and that'll be the end of it. But it was, even going back to the line about I main evented against Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then what does Punk do immediately? He baby faces himself and just being like, and I was proud of you then, and I'm proud of you now. And then he turns it into, but you don't have world titles and you don't give a shit. And it's just like, I'd rather not give a shit than be you. And it was uncomfortable, and it wasn't good. I thought it was better than last week just because they did a little bit more than they gave you a little bit more. Although again, thinking back on it, it was more them just kind of rehashing things that just WWE fans don't know about. They tried to give you more color to a story that doesn't need more color like that. Maybe it needed a different color.
I think I didn't mind KO's material because KO has a legitimate gripe. I didn't think, as much as I love Kevin, I didn't think his delivery was the best here. I don't know if it felt like Kevin was trying to be not his authentic self. And I hate saying that about Kevin Owens because I think Kevin Owens is very authentic. But it felt like he knew he couldn't be the KO that we all wanted to see because he's in a WWE produced segment with CM Punk, who kind of says the same stuff, and there's the same material when it comes to CM Punk. And I thought CM Punk's material was terrible, and I didn't think his delivery was very good either. But I don't mind the stuff Kevin was saying because there is legitimately 20 years of history and hatred and reason for Kevin to dislike the man. The issue when it comes to Kevin is, unfortunately, this is just the same material everybody has when it comes to Punk. So when you've already heard Drew, Seth, Roman use this material against Punk of like, oh, you're an asshole, you haven't changed, you left, it just doesn't hit as hard. I think Kevin has a bigger gripe and complaint than any of those three because there's legitimate face-to-face confrontation between Punk and Owens over the last 20 years than Punk and those other guys. Punk left, that upset Seth because we were friends, and he just left us all to dry. Okay. Kind of the same thing with Drew. Although Drew says there's more, but they won't talk about more. The same thing with Roman. Although at least Roman has the line of make Roman look strong type of thing. But there's real heat between, at least previously, between Punk and Owens stemming from the stuff 20 years ago and Punk not helping and Punk not being a veteran that KO thought he should have been and Punk only looking out for himself and not changing and all of that. So I thought Kevin's material was good. I thought just his delivery overall was awkward because it just felt like either he didn't want to step on toes or he knew that if he did, it would not end well for Punk. And as much as Punk tried to remind us last week that he's a professional and he's a professional, Kevin Owens is also a professional, and he's not going to push that boundary the way that he probably could. And that's been kind of the whole story with Punk anyway, is there's a lot of material against Punk, and people are going to dance around some of the better material because
non-disparagement agreements exist.
Because they are professionals when it comes to this. So I thought KO's portion was good as far as material was. Delivery was I didn't think Punk was good in this segment at all. And I just think it made a lot of times just sort of like awkward. And like they tried to force like heat and everything here. Do you need to take a call? Okay. All right. They tried to force heat in reaction here. And like the crowd doesn't care about the AEW stuff and the inside references and everything. Like Punk doing the which friends bit is so funny because like he knows that Kevin's not going to say it. It's the same thing with the when he said it to Drew of who gave you that nickname. He knows that they can't respond to that. Like it can't. Kevin Owens is not going to be like the Young Bucks and Colt Cabana. Drew's not going to be like Vince McMahon. Like then you're derailing things there. And I mean, Vince would have gotten a reaction because the WWE audience knows Vince. I don't know how much the WWE audience is reacting to the Young Bucks and Colt Cabana. But he's doing that to push buttons and everything. And KO's not going to respond in any type of way. And then Punk does the thing about not being a losers. I don't know, so whatever his dumb line is about associating with losers. And I thought KO was actually like, this is why people don't like you, is because you say you've changed, but you haven't changed, and you are a hypocrite. This segment was not for me. And I loved last week's segment. Like, there's video evidence of me saying that I loved last week's segment. I thought it was good. I thought there was actually heat in last week's segment. It wasn't there for this one, at least to me.
Yeah, I get it. I do. And this happened. Now the match is next Friday, and this is all we get until they do the next 2 matches after this, because I'm sure that this will not be the one and done. Or maybe it will. Maybe it could be that they were like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get out of dealing with CM Punk. It's very funny that's like you either get to work Roman, who beats everyone, or you get to work CM Punk and you all hate him. Which world champion do you want?
Being hated by losers is the price I pay for not being one of them. It is the line. Honestly, not a terrible line, but it does, when you are saying that thing, like it does rub people the wrong way on that, especially when there are a lot of fans of the Bucks and Colts, and one of their good friends is literally in the ring with you. But yeah, it was this segment just it wasn't for me.
We have a new name in the hat for In the Weeds.
Okay.
Mr. Thomas. Mocha Traps himself.
Oh, was that who just called you?
No. That was something else.
Oh, okay.
Well, that would have been funny. It was like someone calling me for a gig. No, this is he replied to my
Oh, I see it. Oh, yeah.
Why apply? I was like, no, I would like you. Does he want to talk about wrestling though?
Probably not.
Probably not. Let's do it. Yeah, I have nothing else to add about this Kevin Owens and Punk stuff. It's just Punk has been treated the same way in every story that he's had. Kevin Owens came back and they put him right into the world title match, or to the WWE title match, and they got to do something about it. They got to do something about it to get people invested, but I don't think this is the best way to have done it. So CM Punk doesn't like losers, but CM Punk is also a big old loser. He lost at Mania. Big old loser.
That part killed me as well. When
watch for the spear.
Yeah, I was like, that was another part that just like took me out of it, and be like, oh, all right, you got your bullet point that this is fake, and talk about, oh, if you were in better shape, you would have moved from Goldberg's spear. And KO is like, well, even if I was in better shape, like you didn't move from Roman's spear. And that's where like they're trying to do this unscripted stuff, at least trying to make it feel like it's unscripted and they're shooting brother. And then you bring it back to hey, remember when you lost this fake wrestling match because Vince told you you're losing to Goldberg and you could have been in the best shape in the world and it doesn't matter. You were told to lose to Goldberg. Like, it was, yeah, that completely took me out of this as well.
Yep, I get it. But that was SmackDown. Some stuff was good. Some stuff was that. Feel how you will about it. Next week is another week and Raw is tonight. Should we touch on GCW real quick?
Yeah.
Homecoming happened. Joseph Sawyer, the former Joe Gacy, is the new GCW World Champion. Congratulations to him. Shows up and wins a match because he couldn't win the MLP Canadian Championship because he lost at C4. Good interview, though. Anyway, and then he went to GCW and he won. The big news, other than that, coming out is that Drake Wuertz has found his way back into wrestling. First of all, he got involved in the Sawyer match, right? He interfered afterwards and
not afterwards. I mean, during the match.
During the match, yeah. Sorry,
because Max Recon was the Vandal 48 referee in cahoots with the Kogars, and then Drake Wuertz came out and took him out and helped Sawyer win the title.
That's what it was. And then afterwards, he had a match on night 2, and Wuertz basically said, "I'm sorry for past affiliations." And some people have said, "Good enough, let's go." And other people have mentioned that you need to do a lot more than that to regain my trust. This is not me specifically, but other people have said, you know, to regain the trust of people, you need to prove that you have moved on. And I think that there's, again, as always in the wrestling discourse or just discourse in general, there is a middle line. We've heard Joey Janela go to bat for Drake before to bringing him back into the wrestling world. Whether or not you trust Joey as your reason for trusting someone being brought back into the wrestling space is your call. But for Drake, he's got a lot of showing up to do if you are caring about what he does outside of the ring. For those who just care about the guy who showed up, that's on you. You can care about just Drake Wuertz, the wrestler, being back in a ring. If you want to celebrate that, that's up to you. For those who are expecting a little bit more from an apology or maybe some proof that he has learned from his past transgressions, then that is something that you will have to look towards. But that has been the ongoing conversation so far with Drake being back in a wrestling ring and wrestling with GCW. Fans were certainly feeling a certain way.
I mean, he got no pop when he showed up. Like, absolutely none.
Do you have anything to say about this?
I do.
Words.
What?
Are you formulating your words?
No, like I have stuff to say about this. It's so pointless. I don't know Drake Wuertz. I've never met him. I've never talked to him. Absolutely no idea. All I know is basically what everybody else knows. I know he apologized like a couple years ago. I know he's been back doing the deathmatch stuff. I know he's been like back on the scene with things. I know him and Joey squashed things and they've had conversations, and I know he was well liked before he, turned into a QAnon truther during the pandemic and everything. So like I know about as much as everybody else does when it comes to the public stuff. There's an argument for second chances and things like that. Like I get it. I just don't know if it's necessary. Like, what do you really gain bringing this guy in? And maybe you gain, like, he's going to get his second chance to really prove himself and show that he is the guy that we always thought he was, and he did go off into a wrong path, and we want to show that he's a different person. And I guess if you're friends with the guy, which it seems like Lauderdale and Janela are, like they're trying to give their friend an opportunity to do that. It feels like you can be friends with the guy and he can continue to do that elsewhere and not in your company, where it just doesn't look great when you spent a week online arguing and claiming things about other people that may or may not come to light in time. It just, the timing of it wasn't very good based on everything that happened over the last week. But even if that stuff didn't happen, I just don't know what it accomplishes fully. I don't think the GCW audience really wants it. Again, there was no reaction for him. Look, he had the match against Otis the following night, Otis Kogard, the death match, and he's a good death match wrestler. Like, that's always been his thing. So, okay, cool. Feels like they got other good deathmatch wrestlers, and feels like you're alienating some people. I don't think it fully turns people off from GCW or anything, but maybe it does. Maybe you do lose some fans. To me, it just feels unnecessary.
I understand. James Vanderbeek, not that one, the one that we know from wrestling. His name is also Jeremy. He made a very simple, easy tweet about it, and he just said, I don't look at wrestling for moral inspiration. I know wrestling is full of dipshits, but it also has plenty of good people in it. I don't watch to reinforce my beliefs. I don't watch anything to do so. The fact that there are shitty people in wrestling should not make you stop calling them out. And I think it's a perfectly logical way to look at it. If you're in this bubble and you care, you get to choose with your money, with your voice, who you want to support and who you don't. And if you're looking, as we've talked about, if you're looking for moral inspiration, moral compasses in wrestling, don't. Just don't. Because everybody's different and everyone has a public facing persona, which doesn't always match what you see behind the scenes. Sometimes it's just the entertainment business. That's it.
Yeah.
And again, I think for those who are upset about the fact that Drake spent a lot of his time when he was QAnon and MAGA talking about it and going to public forums and running for public office on these platforms, that is going to take a lot of it's going to take a lot of time to undo in the minds of some people. I can't tell anyone how to feel. I'm not going to tell anyone how to feel about it. And I can only tell you that this is what happened. He came back, and now, of course, a new discourse has started. Whether you care is up to you.
I just think it's kind of lame in really all sports, but it feels like in wrestling, it's always worse in that everyone gets like second, third, fourth chances. And maybe it's not to a level of certainly that of GCW, but think of just like all the bad stuff that has happened in wrestling, all the bad people that have been outed in wrestling, and you'll just always find one promoter out there who's just willing to be like, well, I'm going to give them a second chance. And sometimes they do it just to, draw a house for whatever that's worth. And maybe they try it and it gets canceled in some cases. But it's like, can we just be done with people who are like this? Like, are they really adding that much to where we can't just be done with these people? But you'll always find someone like willing to give the opportunity. And maybe I'm being too cynical of like, okay, they deserve the opportunity and stuff. It feels like you can like support friends and everything and not have them part of your wrestling show. I don't know. It's not for me. Drake Wuertz, the deathmatch stuff just in general isn't for me. I don't have any interest in like seeing him wrestle or do anything. I haven't thought about him since all of that stuff happened unless I've had to like cover, something. We'll see if it works. Like, truthfully, I hope he's able to prove himself right, and he has changed and he's not that person, and he did just go down a path that I don't think anybody should go down, and now he's gotten himself straight and he's back on track. It doesn't take away what he said and did at the time. Like, we can't just erase that.
Yep. From why do you bring him in? I think honestly, he has a long storied past with Brett and people who are there at GCW. And if they want to give him that chance one more time, and maybe this is his swan song, maybe this is the end of Drake's career and he wanted to go out this way. And maybe they just trusted him enough to do this, and that's that. But we don't know, and we won't know until they talk about it or things happen along their booking. So, correct.
I mean, I don't know that there's gonna be anything they're gonna talk about and be like, "Oh, we wanted to give him a second chance." And
again, someone could vouch for him, but that doesn't mean that it's the answer. It's just more people giving their opinion or their experience with the guy. That's all.
Yeah.
Before we do the Raw preview real quick, Lance Anoa'i did announce that in March 2027, he will be calling it a career on in-ring wrestling, 17 years in the business. And he said 17 years, one hell of a ride. In March 2027, it's time for family. This isn't goodbye just yet. We still have a few months to go. So best to him. You still got some time before he calls it a career. But once spent some time in the PC, he was signed to WWE, but unfortunately got injured and was released. Not as a result, but while injured. So sending our best to Lance, and hopefully he finds success outside of the ring as well.
Yeah. I don't want to be too cynical, but we'll see if this retirement stinks.
Yeah, exactly. It's wrestling. He could get picked up tomorrow by a major company for millions of dollars and be like, "I'm back, bitches." But he's calling it a career. Whether that sticks is up to him.
Yeah.
Raw's tonight, KeyBank Center in Buffalo. Watch it on Netflix or don't. I don't care. World Heavyweight Championship #1 contender tournaments, 2 matches. 1, Dragon Lee versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Congratulations, Dragon Lee.
Yeah, I'd imagine Dragon Lee wins. It doesn't feel like they're going to have Dragon Lee beat Dominic last week and then lose here. That would be a little weird.
They do like El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., though.
I mean, as they should, but I don't think he's beating Dragon Lee.
Fair. And the other tournament match is Rey Fenix versus El Fiscal. El Fiscal's going to win. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be Rey Fenix.
Yeah, Phoenix is probably winning this one.
Sol Ruka and Lyra Valkyria have a match.
This screams DQ.
Yes, it does.
Like, I think Lyra should win because they've completely fumbled the follow-up to the Bayley stuff. Like, this is her first match since then, and she's barely been on television since then. She wasn't on television outside of commercial stuff until last week. But they also really like Soul, and I don't know if they're super keen on just beating Soul, especially kind of back-to-back weeks or back-to-back matches. Or no, she won last week in the tag team match. Back-to-back singles matches, I'll say, since she lost her last one to Raquel. So I don't know if they really want to beat Soul. So yeah, this screams like it might be some type of DQ.
Chad Gable defends the Intercontinental Championship against Rey Mysterio.
That'd be a good match. I'm looking forward to that. I assume Gable will win. And then Ray should just ban him from AAA for beating him since he's the general manager.
That's the way it should be. Jey Uso will deliver Solo Sikoa to Roman Reigns, who returns tonight as well to Raw. So there we go. Roman Reigns is back. All is right with the world. And I'm sure LA Knight will be involved.
This show warning shot!
Pew, pew, pew.
That's what we care about. He's going to do his warning shot. I'm actually curious about the Roman and Solo interaction with this version of Solo. So I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't love the like Solo's like back bloodline adjacent stuff. I don't know if it's gonna last. But I am curious what the Tony Romo, Roman and Solo interaction looks like, with Solo being like this comfortable as a baby face. I think it could be fun. I don't know if it'd be great. I think it could be fun.
We shall see. That's Raw for tonight. Go enjoy it or don't. We're back tomorrow. Is there anything else that we missed? Malakai Black allegedly had conversations with MLW. I wonder who said no to whom.
And Malakai coming to work across this big main event program.
There you go.
I mean, they're having talks with Tessa, so.
That is true. That was reported, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess you want to call yourself the Wrestler Whisperer, then that's one way you can prove it to the world that you're doing it. We're back tomorrow. Myself, maybe. Jeremy Lambert, SP3. Talking about what? Who knows? But we'll be around. Jeremy, what was your moment of the weekend?
Oiwa and Yumura having probably my second favorite match of the year. Nothing's beaten Okada and Tanahashi, just from an emotional perspective, but I'll say it's second for now. I can't actually remember what happened this year, but we'll go with this for second.
My moment of the weekend, I don't know. It was good. C-Force Fighting Back. It was available and is available on YouTube. It was a wonderful show. A wonderful time. Conversations that I had with people on and off camera, and just the culmination of a good time. So looking forward to everyone going and watching it and talking nice things about it. Getting to watch Lawrence dress up as a boy for Dolan Castle. That was fun. A lot of good stuff. Seeing Mike from Indeed, Mike Indeed, as he is known to many. He was also there shooting content, and we did a quick little chat. So shout out to him as well. Yeah, it's good to see a lot of friends and familiar faces. So that was my moment of the weekend. What did we accomplish today? Are we still doing this?
What do you mean? Yes. I did it all last week just because you don't do it when I'm not here.
We did it.
Did you and SP3 do it?
We did it all last week or 2 weeks ago. We did. We made time for it.
Why are you asking if are we still doing this?
I don't know. It's just every week I wonder what we're doing.
Well, you don't have to wonder starting next week.
True. That is true. What do we accomplish?
The biggest thing we accomplished today is day one-ish of Joel on his way out.
That's right. I'm going to win my 17th World Championship, and I'm going to be bad on purpose for 5 days. And then I'm going to turn it around on the 6th day, but I will.
How do you explain the rest of these years?
Joel gone, Mike Gilbert gone. Who else is going to cover TNA? Well,
Nobody.
There's always someone.
Debatable.
AO from Body Slam, I guess. And Gerard.
Sure.
Maybe Cresta will come back. Probably not, though. Anyway.
Cresta's taking the fall off. Good for her.
She's smart. Taking that sabbatical. Take your time. Relax. Do your thing. But we're back tomorrow. And what do we accomplish for me? We accomplished that KO and Punk, they talk words, but not talk phrases. And if you want morality in wrestling, you ain't going to find it because it's not going to happen.
Results of our poll question: more preferred match, Oiwa and Yumura 29%, Swerve and Ospreay 42%, and Americano 29%. Not super surprised from our audience at this. Maybe that Americano and Oiwa and Yumura was a little tied, but I figured our audience, I understand why they like the Swerve and Ospreay stuff the most, but I wanted to kind of gauge things with that. I appreciate everybody who voted in the poll question.
Hell yeah. Let's get out of here. I want to eat lunch. I'm done.
Okay.
For Jeremy Lambert, you know who I am. You know who he is. Leave a thumbs up on the way out, and we're going to see you tomorrow. Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.